Hey, everybody. Hopefully, everybody has recovered from their drinking last night because it was St. Patrick's Day. We only had one drink, though.
I'm drinking right now.
What?
Fucked up.
Well,
came back from the biker bar.
He's already
yeah.
He's been drinking all day.
Drinking all day. It's all good, though. I show up. I was just talking to Pookie, and she looked at me and went, "Wah!" Because I grabbed that fucking thing right there. And I was like, what are you yelling at?
She's yelling at you, Daddy.
It didn't have anything to do with her. She's like,
everything has to do with it's a Pookie-centric world, I said.
Yeah.
Everything has to do with it.
I grabbed the fucking little table and take it away. And she's like, ah! I'm like, so what? So what? I took it.
You're altering my environment in a way that I don't appreciate.
She's a fucking trip. She's a trip.
Although right before we started streaming, I was watching a video of people that had put pictures up of their cats being jerks.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that people's cats get into is pretty crazy. Like some of them are pretty destructive. Pookie is not really all that destructive. She does get into stuff, but she's never really broken anything.
She's a rock and roll Pookie coo.
Yeah.
Rock and roll Pookie coo.
I told her,
Derringer.
well, because he mentioned that song just now because he was watching a video about it, and I said every time I hear a song, I just immediately try to fit Pookie's name in it somehow so I can sing it to her. I don't know if she appreciates it or not. She seems to tolerate it. She doesn't like run away or anything.
She just looks at you. You sing to her and she just looks at you like... What?
We were watching, you know what's funny? We were watching Dan Bell's live stream from last Saturday, because he does I don't know if you guys know, but he does a live stream every Saturday night where he drives around, and he's been doing a thing the last couple months where one of his patrons, he does a drawing, and if one of his patrons can get to Baltimore where he lives, he'll take them with him. So he does like a 2 or 3 like drive around Baltimore. They do ghost hunting, they do all kind of stuff. So I was watching that one, and like one of Dan's dogs, he was still like in his apartment, if he sings to the dog like flops over and like lays down. It's the damnedest thing I ever saw.
Yeah, to get the dog to stop, just start singing. The dog
and then he
surrenders.
Yeah. He went like that. He like flopped over. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. And then Dan like comes back on the camera and he's like laughing his ass off. I'm like, that is pretty funny.
It's like if you want the dog to stop, all you gotta do is start singing.
The dog flops over. I don't know. Like Pookie just kind of... She just puts up with it. I don't think she cares one way or the other. I think she just likes the attention. But, you know. DJ Maniac said, oh, that's right, it was amateur hour yesterday. Exactly. That's why we don't go out on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
St. Patty's Day.
St. Patty's
because that's kind of all, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of all. It's kind of like New Year's Eve. Although I will admit we did go out New Year's Eve this year. We don't usually. We just went to Mannequins. And it was actually really fun. But yeah, that's the problem. You get like all these people that, you know, that don't really drink all that much like all the year, and then they decide they're going to binge drink or day drink like for the first time ever. And, you know, they can't handle it. So people are like laying around puking in the streets and whatnot. So it doesn't sound like a good time. So we're going to like drink today. We had one drink last night while we were watching movies. And that's about it. What the fuck did we even watch? What did we watch last night?
I don't remember. A bunch of stuff.
We weren't drunk. I just had one drink. What did we watch?
I don't remember what it was we saw. It was
fuck. It just totally went out of my head. Isn't that?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I mean, it does kind of. Oh, no. I remember because it was something I wanted to talk about on here. It's that documentary on Shudder about Alien.
Oh, that's right.
It's called Memory. And it's kind of about, it was kind of cool actually. It wasn't so much about the making of the movie. It was kind of all the different idea threads that kind of like came together with Dan O'Bannon, the writer, and like Ridley Scott and fuck. But
it was mostly good.
I can't remember like H.R. Giger. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Thank you, brain, for coughing that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of like where the mythology behind it, like where the ideas for it came from, like all the sci-fi movies that Dan O'Bannon had watched in the 50s, and like where he got the ideas for stuff and all that. So it's actually really good if you want to watch it.
Yeah, it was mostly good.
Yeah, I thought it was good, but you know,
some of it was bullshit though. They had some girl jumping in saying that fucking Alien was a result of guilt of misogyny and all this fucking...
That's not really what she was saying,
That's kind of what she was saying.
That's not really what she was saying.
Yeah. Well, that's how I took it. It was bullshit, though. Because it had nothing to do with that. Those dudes were just making up something like, yeah, it was a fucking alien, kind of like a wasp. There wasn't a deeper meaning to it, really.
But the thing about it, though, is when you create a piece of art and send it out into the world, usually an artist has, whatever their intention is, whether it's conscious or unconscious. But then when it goes out into the world and other people consume it, those people bring their own sets of experiences and their own sets of unconscious biases, fantasies, whatever. So they're gonna take what they want to take out of it too. Yeah. So I kind of feel like, there's some argument to be made that to an extent, like, obviously some things are like textual, subtextual, like the artist intended that. But sometimes if there's like a reading of it that has to do with like one person's or one like particular group of people's like perceptions, I don't think that's necessarily invalid, because if that many people like saw that in there, then obviously that is speaking to them. So like I said, art it's subjective. You can kind of like read whatever you want into it.
My take on it was my dad's generation that made that movie in the 70s, late 70s. They weren't thinking along that lines. It was a lot simpler than that. Other people later on want to read into it, but it didn't have anything to do with misogyny. No.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but it definitely did have something to do with male rape and male impregnation.
Well, they said that.
Which, like I said, was kind of like... And that wasn't a new thing either, because I've seen some movies. I saw a movie from the 1950s. I think it was the 1950s or very early 1960s. It was on MST called Night of the Blood Beast.
Yeah.
And it was just like this shitty... Might have been Roger Corman, now that I'm thinking about it. It's an old black and white movie. And it's this dude, and he goes up to space, wherever the hell. I don't remember where he goes. And he comes back, and he's in the capsule. Like, the capsule crashes, and then they haul his body. They think he's dead. He is dead. So they haul him out there, and then they put him in this thing, and a couple days later, he wakes up, and he seems okay, but everyone's just kind of like, I don't know, you're acting like a little bit weird, and then there's like a monster, and then they find out that this guy has been impregnated by this monster. So they do like a little fluoroscope type situation, and they look, and there's like all these little party shrimp in his stomach. In his womb.
Party shrimp.
In his man womb.
Party shrimp.
Well, that's what they looked like. I'm pretty sure that they used... Well, they did it on MST, and then they did a gag where they just like took all these little shrimp and like taped them onto this like TV, like so it looked like somebody was like pregnant.
It was a rape monster.
Yeah,
even back in the day.
That's it. Yeah,
it was a rape monster.
Well, yeah, because it's like going in their mouth and it's like coming out their fucking chest, close enough.
But they got that from fucking wasps. And wasps are rape monsters. You're a worm minding your own business inside of some wood,
doing some wormy shit,
and then a thing comes in and gets you, and then you're pregnant, and then you give birth to these fucking things, and you give birth to things that didn't like you, and they do it over again. That's all it is. It's not.
They kind of showed, and actually,
not really a deeper meaning to it.
In this documentary, they actually did show
it's a rape monster.
One of the a caterpillar that had been impregnated by one of these parasitic wasps.
Yeah.
And they showed it like in fast motion. It was like all these wasps. I was like, holy shit,
that's what horrible. It looks like.
Yeah. But there's like eating them from inside.
Right.
You know what I mean? But.
Which the whole idea was fucking. It was about being terrified.
Yeah.
That and I even noticed it as a kid, is that there was an element of like corporate classism going on. The working people fucking were kind of smarter about what was going on. Like, let's get the fuck out of here. Just freeze him. Why don't you just freeze him? Let's get the fuck out of here.
Well, which I kind of feel
would have been better for them, probably.
A lot of people, because you're the ones that actually have to deal with shit like on the ground.
Right.
And people that are in management or higher up on the totem pole, often are not dealing with the situation, so they don't really know what's going on.
But I grew up in that world, and fucking, so I immediately recognized it. My dad was also dealing with that world out in California in the fucking water pollution control system. The guys on the ground fucking understood what was going on. The dudes above them in the officer ranks had to justify their existence by using fucking better vocabulary. That's really all it was. It was kind of bullshit. Because the working guys, fucking, what was his name? Fucking, shit, I forgot the two dudes' names. Lambert and fucking...
No, Lambert was the chick.
Was the chick,
Was the other chick.
The white dude and the black dude. Fucking, who were just like, yeah.
Well, it was Harry Dean Stanton was the...
Yeah, but I don't remember the names of the characters. They were like, look, let's just get out of here. You know? Why don't you just freeze him?
It's like, this is above our pay grade.
Yeah, and fucking, you know...
Which it totally was.
It was, you know, stop fucking with him, just freeze him. Let's get the fuck out of here. And something's not right with this guy, you know? And they were right about it, really. It was the officers that were fucking up. They let the infection in, and they were trying to look at stuff, and it was all bullshit, you know?
Well, the
ghostly
yeah,
the ghostly shit is going on.
Well, Ash let them in,
right?
Like, even though Ripley was like, absolutely not,
right?
Ash let them in, so
right?
That was his fault.
Yeah, that one chick was going like, well, he's a misogynistic robot. He was fucking programmed to do that. That's not how I saw it.
Well, the thing is, though,
it is company. The company wanted.
Well, yeah, but it is very frustrating, particularly as Ripley, even though she was not necessarily written, but because she's a woman and her being in charge, and she's just like, "Hey, don't let them in. That's protocol," and then just being overridden, and everybody's like, "We don't care what you say." Like, I get it. I get where she was coming from with that, because you do kind of feel like that as a woman, and you're not a woman, so you wouldn't know, but you do kind of feel like your shit gets like overridden all the time.
That didn't have anything to do with her being a woman, though.
No, I'm just saying that, somebody like he
it was the company.
But I could see how you would think that, because the character was...
She'd have been overridden even if she was a man.
Yeah.
The company was sent the fucking ship out there to go get it. That's why he was on there. Remember? Because fucking... that was his first voyage. They had replaced the normal science officer with that robot.
Yeah. And nobody knew it was
Nobody knew what the hell was going on. They were out there to go get that thing. They just didn't know. Really, what it was about the evil of corporations and the people that...
that's what Gramthars was saying. I always figured Alien was about, one, corporate greed, and two, the dangers of biological weapons. Yeah, that too. DJ Maniac, if no one knew that the design of the xenomorph and its mythos was an allegory for male rape, do I have a story for you? Yeah. There's...
Well, yeah, it's a wasp.
One of the things
and a wasp are rapists.
One of the things that I didn't realize was that the chest burster little monster, which kind of looks like a penis... was actually taken almost completely from a painting by Francis Bacon, which, like I said, I hadn't really made that connection because I really like Francis Bacon's artwork, but I had never made that connection between that. But if you see the painting, I'm like, oh my god, that looks almost exactly like the chest burster little guy.
A good thing about this program is it pointed out that this fucking life cycle, this reproductive cycle about there being a host and a bee that comes along and stings it, which lays an egg, which fucking comes out of the host, which makes a fucking bee that stings the host and it lays the egg. That particular reproductive life cycle is the most popular reproductive life cycle on the planet. There are more didn't they? There are more of those than anything.
Then I think
you're right.
I mean, I'd have to look it up, but they did mention is that there are actually more species of parasitic wasps on Earth than any other.
That's what they're talking
kind of species,
about.
But I don't really know if that's true or not.
That's like the best. That's one of the more common life cycle maps. So but the thing is that it's happening to fucking fucking. Not worms. They call them fucking caterpillars. It's happening to caterpillars, so you don't notice it, but you would notice it if you were a caterpillar, wouldn't you? You'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Right.
Sure, that wouldn't be a real pleasant way to go. Yeah. So they can still feel pain and stuff.
Right. So that's what they're talking about.
DJ Maniac says there's dicks everywhere in Alien. Yeah,
dicks.
There are dicks everywhere.
Dicks going into you.
Well, H.R. Giger, I mean, his artwork is very explicitly sexual.
It's all sexual. Yeah.
And
Booty monsters.
And I kind of feel like the original production company, that's why they didn't really want to go with that. They're like, absolutely not. We're not having that dude's fucking artwork because it's, charity. You know what I mean? And it's perverted.
Yeah.
And this was like back in the 70s, you know, so they were just kind of like, what the fuck even is that? Because nobody was doing any artwork remotely like that back then.
It's all like these weird looking corpses with fucking fantastic asses and fucking all this weird.
Well, it's like weird, like biomechanical. Yeah, sure.
Booty monsters.
But they, you know, so it was kind of like they had H.R. Giger on, and they talked about this on the show a little bit. And then, like, he did a couple drawings, and then the producers were like, no, absolutely not. That's too weird. And so he got kicked off. But then when Ridley Scott came on, he was like, he saw the paintings, and he's like, oh, yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah.
So he was able to, like, convince him. And it's funny to think of that because, like, Alien without H.R. Giger... It probably would have still been good, but I don't think it would have been the same. Because that, like, is so distinctive. I mean, just, somebody asked, let me see, I just saw it up here. Tyler the Guy said, anyone like Alien more than Aliens? I feel like Aliens is the more popular one. I do. I like Alien more than Aliens. I love Aliens, too.
They're both good, yeah.
They're both good, but they're both different genres. Yeah. And Aliens is more like an action movie, like a sci-fi action, and I feel like Alien is more a straight up horror movie. Not even, it's marginally sci-fi, but I think it's like more a horror movie, so I'm more into that. I like that more creeping dread type thing.
Now Graham said that Ash was a replicant. He wasn't a replicant. He was a robot. Replicants were genetically engineered human beings that were meant to replace robots. And if you go and look at Prometheus, there's both robots and replicants. Like, what's it? Fucking Tyrell's daughter, one played by Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
She's a replicant. But David's a fucking robot. And if you get the Blu-ray on the extended and expanded extra shit that's in there, it'll talk about Tyrell. Wayland knew Tyrell and thought that the fucking replicant thing, he said the replicant thing literally blew up in his face. That's not how you want to go. You want to go with robots. But there are certain things that replicants were good at. So that's why the what's his name? Miss Bishop? Miss Bishop fucked the captain to prove that she wasn't a robot.
Yeah, I remember that thing.
She was a replicant though, which was kind of like a robot made out of fucking parts, biologically engineered parts. And it all makes sense when you look at it from the point of view of an oligarch. Oligarchs, their power was built on the back of a working class and slaves. You know, when you go back further back in time. They make money on people. But people have their own nature. They're not very obedient. So it's better if they were to replace these people with robots or things like replicants or genetically engineered people. That way they can create them, and those people are obedient, and you can control their nature. You can hack them. Kind of like what's his name saying in the WEF. So these movies are true, you know what I mean? They know what they're talking about. An oligarch would rather have a person that they could create, so they could be godlike. Like, that's why all that shit's kind of like Pharaoh, you know what I mean, with the pyramids and everything, back in L.A., the Tyrell Corporation. Tyrell was kind of like a pharaoh, which is a god man, a man who is a god, creating people. It's kind of like how an oligarch would really like to be, especially like a real high-tech oligarch. So Ridley Scott knew exactly what he was talking about. It's true. It's art, you know. It's a guy who's making an artistic movie and trying to tell you something. Now some people didn't like Prometheus or Alien 2, or what was it, Alien 4? What was the name of the one? The one after Prometheus.
Alien Covenant.
Alien Covenant, that's what it was called. A lot of people didn't like them. I liked them. They had problems. Prometheus was not fucking executed correctly. A lot of shit got edited out of it. And then Alien Covenant, they really edited a lot out of that. But it was close to what the original concept was. The original concept was more closer to like, you know, Niribu. What's it called? Niribu and the fucking the Anunnaki. That's what they're talking about. Yeah.
DJ Maniac says alien without H.R. Giger equals Dark Star. They did actually talk quite a bit about Dark Star in this. Well, not quite a bit, but like they did kind of, because Dan O'Bannon obviously was, worked on that too. The one where the alien was a beach ball.
Yeah.
So there was that. Also, he also brings up something that I had actually kind of forgotten about. Dead Kennedys got in a fuck ton of trouble because they had a Giger painting in the Frankenchrist album as an insert. I remember that. Didn't they get hauled into court for like obscenity charges?
I don't know.
Which is crazy. Like I think they did. And if you see the painting that they used inside, it's not, like I said, it's like biomechanics. It's got like dicks and stuff, but it's like, are we saying that like a part of that half of like all humans on Earth have, just showing that is pornographic? That is ridiculous. It's a dick.
Yeah.
Half the people on Earth have them. It's fine. It's like, I don't know. It's just like really funny. But yeah, it was the 80s. So, but yeah, I do remember that happening. Fucking Jello Biafra was quite articulate about how stupid that was. Just saying. Let's see.
Tina showed up. What's up, T?
Yeah, she said she couldn't come on Wednesday, but
yeah,
she showed up this evening. She said she's going to see the new Ty West movie X, which I've been hearing a lot of good buzz about that. So I might have to go check that out. I've liked all his other movies, so I wonder if it's playing. If it's playing here.
At least T saw Beverly Hills Cop. Oracle's waving at us. What's up, Oracle?
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, DJ Maniac says, and the case got dismissed. It's why we have the parental advisory sticker on the records now. Yep, that's right. Yeah. Jello Biafra did a double live spoken word about it. I have it on vinyl, of course. Yeah, he did a lot of spoken word back in the day. Waves at Pookie in Beijing, too. Yeah. I don't know where.
Downstairs, I think.
Well, Pookie was in here a minute ago, but I don't know where she went. She got mad. She was like, "You guys aren't paying enough attention to me, so I'm out of here. Yeah. I'm gonna go down and fart around and do something else." Let's see. Banana in the Tailpipe. Somebody says.
Banana Tailpipe.
Yeah, but yeah. So if you have Shudder, it's a good documentary. It's totally worth watching. Like I said, I like that it didn't focus. It focused a little bit on the making of the movie, but it wasn't really a making of. It was more like a conceptual documentary in the sense that this is where all the tendrils came from, that contributed to the idea of this movie, and where all this stuff, where all this stuff originated from, other movies, other mythologies, stuff like that. So I thought that was really a good angle to come at it from. Tyler Guy, Jello Biafra sounding off at Tipper Gore on Oprah was so damn satisfying. Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was a long time ago though.
It was, yeah. I mean, yeah, we grew up during that time, and it's just, I mean, even then, I was still a teenager, and I was just kind of this shit is fucking retarded. I don't know why I fucking, You all right? How much did you drink today?
I had 4 before I showed up. 4 or 5.
He left.
People were buying me drinks.
12. Was it 12:30?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. It was a little bit past noon or somewhere, somewhere between 12:30 and 1.
Came back 4 something.
And then he came back about 4:15.
Yeah.
So he went to the biker bar all that time. Yeah. Well, were you riding around on the bike first and then you went to the bar?
That was only about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then I fucking went to the bar.
Oh, okay. So he's been at the bar drinking.
About 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
Because you seem like a little...
Yeah, they bought me a bunch of shit. I show up, nigga, start buying me, and they start buying me stuff. I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I do what I want.
Yeah.
Free beer.
Yeah. No. Tequila.
Do they? Oh, they have actual.
Tequila.
They have actual alcohol there.
Yeah, they buy me tequila.
Oh, okay, that's. Oh
yeah.
Shit.
Shots of tequila.
Should you really be riding a motorcycle around?
Yeah.
On all that tequila.
Of course.
You should.
Yeah.
I don't think you should.
Of course. It's just up the street.
But of course.
It's so easy to ride. It's easy.
Yeah. We'll see.
No, it's easier to ride than it is to drive. For me. Yeah, because I'm outside.
Because I'm outside.
Yeah, I'm outside. It's easy.
Before we got too far, I wanted to do a couple of shout-outs. I wanted to give a thank you. We got a new patron. We haven't had a new patron in a long time.
Yeah, we don't get new patrons.
It's
the same patrons all the time.
Nobody loves us anymore. Well, yeah, it's most of the people that are here are already patrons. But yeah, we got a new patron, Allison. So, hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much,
I don't know if you're here tonight. But she had sent me an email earlier about it. And I also wanted to give a thank you to Dermot, one of our UK fans, who sent me a £20 Amazon gift card to buy Time After Time. Because remember, we were talking about that on Wednesday night, and about that movie, and I was like, man, I should probably buy that. And yeah, he sent me we gotta buy that. So
and yeah. I got Zardoz.
Yeah,
I got Zardoz. I'm waiting to see that one.
Although we just watched Zardoz, I feel like. Didn't we just watch Zardoz?
I could watch that shit 2 or 3 times.
Like a couple months ago.
See, Jenny's weird about that shit. She'll see it once and then she'll have to see it again. I see something I like it. I want to see it again, like right after.
You know who else does that? Toddlers.
I want to see it again.
I want to watch Beauty and the Beast again.
Yeah, I'll watch it again.
Cause I remember when my siblings were little kids, they would want to watch the same movie like every day.
I'll do it too.
Every day.
Yeah.
I don't mind watching movies again.
Yeah.
But there has to be like a good, like at least a year.
No, I'll watch it like a day after.
Cause I kind of feel like I want some like perspective on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to watch not movies, but I used to watch stuff like music videos and stuff like that I liked. Like I would watch those like a few times a week and stuff. But movies, I just don't have that kind of like time commitment. I don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. So
I will watch that shit the next day.
Yeah, I know you will.
Yeah.
Oracle says, I think it depends on the movie. Yeah, I mean, there are some movies that I don't really mind, like watching them over and over. But it's kind of rare. Usually I like to have at least a cushion of time, like from the first time that I watched it to like the next time.
Look at her.
What's she doing?
Just look.
Why are you mad?
What's up? Okay.
I look back at her and she's laying like that and she goes... She made a face like that. She has little eyebrows and she goes like... I don't know what she's mad about though. The Oracle says, I spy a Pookie, I'd know that cat butt anywhere. Her butt is very distinctive because it has that little stumpy tail. I was laughing at her earlier because she jumped up on the sink over there and was drinking out of it, and like her butt was like sticking out like that while she was like drinking out of the sink. She's fucking crazy. She really is. But like I said, I was watching some shit earlier about like some really jerky cats, and I was just like, well, she's never done anything like that. I don't think she's ever broken anything. Not that I can think of. She tears up stuff sometimes, like she'll chew things. But I don't think I've ever had anything like break because of her.
You're telling me to be careful.
Yeah. Well, you should.
I'm always careful.
Yeah, but when you've had like a whole bunch of tequila...
It's only like 4 or 5, though.
It's only 4 or 5 tequilas.
Yeah, by the time I get here, it's like 7 or 8, so it's a big difference.
Okay.
It's a big difference.
But I'm just saying that it's just kind of like, if it was me, I'd just been like, I don't care. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's not really a good situation.
Stop, Poop. Stop, Poop. I'm not listening to them. No.
Why aren't you? Because you can't tell Tom what to do? No. Tom knows better than everybody.
Come here, Poop. Come here, Poop. You want to get on camera? Everybody wants to see you, Pookie.
Come on.
Come here.
She's like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. She's like, what? Look at look at it.
She's looking at me like, what?
Why did you pick me up? What are you doing?
I'm picking you up because I can pick you up.
She's like, okay, I'll accept it.
Yeah. What you doing? The people are watching.
Look at her.
People are watching.
She's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about it.
You gonna jump back down?
She's like, yeah.
She's getting ready to jump down. You jump down.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a super chat.
Oh, we did? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hold on, I'm like 5 seconds behind.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ian England. Have another tequila on me. Oh, he will.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But yeah. Holy crap. I can't believe you had that much. I knew you were gone that long time, but... I do worry about you, though, because you were in a wreck before and you were fucking sober then. So...
It happens whether you're sober or not, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know. I don't like it, but...
You're probably better off if you've been fucking drinking slightly when you have a wreck, because you're like more limber. You hit the ground more like a sack of shit.
Well, some people have said that, but then you don't want to like hurt other people, though.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Well, there is.
No. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, there is. Like
it's always random.
Tequila is just like a force of nature.
It's always random.
It
it's always
goes
random.
into your mouth.
No.
And then you just...
You're reading too much into it. It's always random.
That's what you always say.
Yeah.
That's what he always says.
No, every time I fucking wrecked, other people had nothing to do with it. It was fucking cats. It's just... You had to be there at the time to understand it. Other people didn't have anything to do with it. And other people are not at risk.
I don't know if I believe that entirely.
If you're not driving a car, the motorcycle only weighs less than 400 pounds. You can't really do any damage to anything.
Yeah, but what the fuck am I supposed to do if you get your dumbass killed?
If I got killed, it wouldn't have anything to do with me. It's always an outside force that you're not.
That's not what I asked you.
It's totally random.
That's not what I asked you. I said, what am I supposed to do if you get your dumbass killed?
You would survive the same way I would survive if were both living. Yeah.
You don't care, is what you're saying.
No, it's just it wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't make a difference.
That's what I just said. It wouldn't make a difference. I.e., you don't care.
It wouldn't make a difference.
There you go.
We're all gonna die anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
We all die anyway.
Well, yeah. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. So nothing means anything.
No.
And it's like, so okay.
Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. It's like, what is the meaning of all this? Well, what is the meaning of life? And you're going to say, well, yeah, I don't know what the meaning. What is the meaning of life of a cat? Oh, the meaning of a life of a cat is this. What is the meaning of a life of a fucking worm? What is the meaning of life of an amoeba? We don't know. You know, don't overanalyze. Then your shit will be too stressed out. You know, just let it ride.
Just don't care about anything.
You're
That's
right.
Tom's advice.
Don't worry. Don't worry about anything.
Don't care about anything. That's Tom's
Well, it's not about caring. It's about worrying. Don't worry about anything.
Yeah, but worry like stems from care. If
Yeah.
you didn't care about anything, you'd be a sociopath, and you consequently would not worry about anything.
Let's say you're worried about something, and I die, and it negatively affects you. You would be negatively affected for a while, and then you'd recuperate, and then something bad would happen to you, and then you die, and then you die, and you'd be forgotten. But that's the same thing with everybody. It doesn't matter. We all die, and we're all forgotten, eventually. So in the end, it doesn't matter. We're all going to the same place. Just don't think about it that much. You just take it as it comes.
Killed at H. Phoenix says, "Don't die, Tom."
Yeah. I might die. Well, I will die eventually. I might die now. I might die later. It doesn't really matter, because it always ends up you're dying anyway.
Yeah, but the thing about that attitude is it's like in a way it's like kind of nihilistic, because like I said, it gives you license to not give a shit about anything or anybody.
Gives you license to rise up above it.
But that's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Yeah. Zatoichi said the same thing. Since you're gonna die anyway, you might as well die fucking fighting for the things that you believe in. You know, it's better to go ahead and fucking die fighting for what you're believing in than just fucking living in a state of fucked upness. You know, where other people are fucking you over. Life is not as important as you think it is. You're not immortal. You're not immortal.
Well, nobody is. Duh.
Right.
Everybody knows that. I'm
Right.
just saying I would submit that it's like it does matter because it matters to people. It's like it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but nobody is talking about that.
We're already old. Death to us is only a few years anyway.
Gramthars says tonight's topic: nihilism.
Nihilism,
pretty
right.
much.
Yeah. Once you get into your 50s, death. The difference between life and death is only a decade or so anyway. Which that's not much. That's not much to worry about. But I'm not negative. I don't think about it. It's just I just let shit happen.
Sheila says it would matter to Jenny. Yeah, well, he doesn't care if it matters to me or not.
It would only matter to her for a certain point, for a certain amount of time.
So he doesn't care
for a certain amount of time. Then she would die.
Wow, you're a ray of sunshine tonight, aren't you? Maybe you shouldn't go to the bar and have people buy you drinks. So you're like bumming me out now.
It's not bumming. It's not being bummed out.
Yeah, it is.
No, that's where strength comes from.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Strength comes.
That's his story. He's sticking
strength
to it.
comes from the fact that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, fucking, because it's all eventually going to happen anyway. Isn't that right, Pookie? We're all gonna die, but it's okay. We're all gonna die together, and we're gonna be on the other side. We're gonna be in spirit land, flying around with the stars and shit.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
Well, no, I believe so. I've seen it.
Pookie thinks you're full of shit.
I've seen we'll be flying around the stars and shit, and then we'll fucking reincarnate and come back as something else.
As a worm, and then a wasp will rape you, and then all the fucking...
It's all like a video game.
That's what would happen to me, probably.
It's all like a video game. You know what I mean?
Tammy says, we're not old. My grandmother lived to be 102. Yeah, my grandmother actually lived into her... My great-grandmother actually lived into her 90s, and actually might still be alive. She actually committed suicide, but...
the older you
get...
The older you get, the faster the time flies by. A year is a smaller fucking fraction of your life. So I can sit back and sleep for like 6 or 7 months and wake up and go, damn. And in another 6 months, it'd be time for another year. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're worried too much. You bitches are worried. It's going to be all right. Everything is fun. Everything is easy.
For you.
No, it's all easy.
For you.
I make it easy. It's in your mind. You make it easy.
No. That's not the way it works.
People try to overcomplicate things too much.
That's not the way it works.
Yeah, worried too much. Anything could happen. We could be living like this, and the next thing you know, a lightning bolt comes back and fucking boom.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm very aware of that.
And I'm fucking just reduced to dust. Or it could be you. Fucking lightning bolt comes, it hits you, and you're reduced to dust. We don't know what can happen. You can't plan for it.
Well, no, I know
Just
that.
every day.
I know that. I'm just saying that I don't worry about shit like that. I mean, kind of, but it's like I know I can't control that, so it's like I'm not worried about that. I do worry about things I can control, though, that make my life better in the here and now.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to be alive for X amount of years, however long it is, or like I said, I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. I don't think I'd get hit by a bus, because where the fuck would I get hit by a bus? But, unless it comes through the house. But you know what I mean? So I kind of feel like, well, day to day, you should probably at least worry about stuff that is going to make your life better on a day-to-day basis. So you do have to worry and care about stuff like that, because otherwise you're just laying around sleeping, not giving a shit about anything, and then you're dead. You know what I mean?
That's how it is.
But like I said, that's dumb though, because it's like you're not really enjoying anything.
Yeah, I know.
You're not really enjoying your life.
What is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of life?
But I think, to me,
what is the meaning of life of a cat? What is the meaning of life of a fucking amoeba? Most people that I know that died, they lived normal lives and fucking just died and it didn't mean anything. Look at all the friends that we know that died. Was there a meaning there? No.
Well, what did I just say? I said there's not a greater meaning, because I'm an atheist. It's like I know there's not a meaning in the grand scheme of the universe or whatever. Yeah, I know that doesn't matter. But like I said, you're alive, you're conscious. So I kind of feel like your whole thing, and when we're talking about cats and stuff like that too, my whole thing is to make her life as pleasant as possible, because that's all there is.
Yeah. So
you should try to enjoy things.
I do.
You know what I mean?
But look at
you
Kaylee.
seem like you don't, though.
No, I enjoy all kinds of shit. I'm having fun. Look at Kaylee. Kaylee died. What would have happened to Kaylee if she had lived longer? Not much more than what.
Well, I don't know. Who knows? Anything could have happened.
She'd have been about like that. Then she'd have gotten old, and she wouldn't have been cute, and then people would have not fucking been too interested in her. She'd have watched television, been surfed the web, and eventually would have gotten forgotten, and she'd have been living off fucking paychecks that got sent to her. I don't know, fucking in unemployment, and then she would have died. So there wouldn't have been a big difference, really.
But would she have enjoyed that time, though?
Yeah.
I mean, if you could come to her, because she died when she was 34.
Yeah.
It's like if you could have come to her and said, "Hey, would you trade whatever?
You want to live
do
longer?
You want to live longer, even if you're just sitting around watching TV? Fuck yeah."
She would have said yeah.
Of course.
She said yeah.
Because you have to learn to appreciate the little things. Because like I said, that's kind of all there is.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just have to kind of find some fucking...
But you look at the difference between 30 years and 300 years, and there isn't really that much of a difference when you look at things from the point of view of the universe, when you're talking about billions of years and trillions of years and 8 billion years, and because we don't really live long to begin with. So there's nothing we can really do about it. I don't worry about it.
Tom's too cool for this shit.
Nah, I'm too cool for that shit. I don't
guess.
worry about it. We don't live long anyway.
Well, I mean, the rest of us care about stuff, and the rest of us are talking about... We'll just let Tom not care about anything.
You're going to die.
Because he's too cool.
We're gonna die.
Duh. Everybody knows that. Everybody already knows that.
Right.
You're like acting like nobody knows that.
It's going to be all right.
Like you're imparting some grand wisdom. It's like, yeah, duh. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. It's going to be all right.
Ian England says maybe the amoeba is doing amoeba coke off amoeba strippers' butts.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
You don't know. Well, like I said, that's why I like to give animals the benefit of the doubt, man.
I'm depressing everybody. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you are.
Don't worry about it, people.
You are.
I'm not, I know. I'm not depressed about it.
Well, but you're depressing everybody else, though.
Yeah.
We're philosophical tonight instead of talking about food. Well, that's because we haven't had any food today. So we haven't had any food to talk about. You made some really nice wet burritos last night, though.
Yeah.
Those were very good.
I went down there and ate some fucking chickpeas. I ate chickpeas.
Oh, I didn't eat anything.
Yeah, they had some down there. I just warmed up and ate them.
Oh. Why didn't you tell me you were warming them up?
I can make you some. You want some?
No, too late now.
All right.
You should have said something.
Yeah, it wasn't very much.
I just ate a peanut butter sandwich. I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
That's all I had. Peanut butter sandwich and some chickpeas. See what everybody's doing. What are they saying?
Gramthars says, tonight's topics, tequila, death, Justin's He-Man, Krustle, Kimmy, and Brazilian women.
He's talking about Kimmy already.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not already. It's almost an hour in.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about Kimmy? Anything?
I didn't say
anything else you'd like to add?
Kimmy was my babysitter when I was a little kid.
In case you guys are not.
Yeah. In case you don't know. She was Princess Leia. She looked just like Princess Leia. She's looked like. I showed her pictures of her here on the show. She did. She looked like Princess Leia. Yeah. She took me to see all kinds of stuff when I was a kid.
I remember you saying that her and her little friends, because they were a lot older than you, and they would kind of carry you around like a teddy bear.
Yeah.
A Tommy bear.
They were teenagers. They were fucking smoking pot and listening to fucking Led Zeppelin. They'd pass you around.
Or
and shit.
Sister Golden Hair, whatever that fucking song is.
No, Led Zeppelin. They listen to Led Zeppelin. They'd be listening to fucking Houses of the Holy and shit. I remember that fucking album cover. And then go down to the drive-in and fucking take me to see Sinbad. Sinbad, the fucking Eye of the Tiger. Sinbad and the fucking...
I think I saw that at the drive-in also.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
Did
we do it? I know we did a couple of Sinbad because we kind of went through a thing a few months back. Well, actually, this was probably sometime before... It was sometime before we moved here because we were still at the old house. We were watching a bunch of Sinbad movies. And we watched Eye of the Tiger again. I don't like that one as much as some of the other
Seven
ones.
Voyages.
Seventh Voyage of Sinbad is better. But I think Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, I saw it a lot. I saw it at the drive-in, and then I saw it on cable, I think, when I was, a kid. So I remembered liking that one a lot from childhood.
I guess I was about 7 or so. Maybe about 7 years old. They'd take me to the matinee. Kimmy and her friends. And we'd see fucking horror movies and shit. They took me to see The Evil. I think they took me to see fucking Amityville Horror. I know I at least saw the what do you call it? I know that I at least saw the trailer to Amityville with her.
Man, I remember when I saw Amityville Horror, I was probably only 7 or 8.
Yeah.
That movie scared the fucking shit out of me. Holy crap.
Yeah,
when you watch it now, it's not really all that scary.
Yeah.
But when I saw it when I was little, I was like, holy nope.
I was 7, 8, 10. It was during that time. I guess I stopped having a babysitter when I was probably around 10. But she just lived next door to me.
Okay, I didn't know she lived next door. Okay.
No, she lived next door.
Oh, okay.
Two houses over.
Oh, okay.
So, she was a full-time babysitter. Whenever my mom was going out and going anywhere, fucking Kimmy would watch me. So I kind of grew up around Kimmy. She was kind of like my older sister, I guess, in a way, during that time.
I never had babysitters because my parents, for a while when I was a little bit older, but my parents ran a daycare at it's outside, like they had a daycare, and then like for a while my mom had one in the house. That was when I was a little bit older. That's when my sister was really little. So that was like late 70s. Because my sister was born in 79, so it was like 79, 80. But prior to that, whenever my parents had to work, which was pretty much always, we went and stayed with my grandma, my dad's, my dad's mom.
Yeah.
So we like would stay over there all summer, and we would usually go there like after school and stuff like that because my parents were both working, obviously.
Yeah.
So we always had her. So I grew up like pretty much 50-50, like with my parents and my grandparents.
Right. I don't remember how old Kimmy was. She was probably about 16 or 17. She was old enough to drive eventually. And because she was driving me. And I guess I was probably around 10 at that time.
Yeah, I was laughing. Yeah. Tyler, the guy, said, for some reason, I imagine Kid Tom just being a small version of what he looks like now.
Yeah. No, I had hair.
Somebody needs to like put... I don't know why I just thought of this. Didn't somebody like have some toys? Oh, I remember what they were.
I had hair.
You remember those, the toys that were like those kind of stuff, like the plush things of like the wrestlers, like the WWF or WWE wrestlers that they had like in the 90s? I kind of like, whenever I think of you as a kid and like the babysitter like taking you around, I picture that. Like one of those, like them walking around with one of those WWE like plush dolls like under their arm. He actually, I've seen pictures of him as a kid. He actually kind of looked like Damian. No lie.
They would say that.
He looked like Damian.
Yeah, Kimmy would say, "Fucking look, he's Damian. He's the kid from fucking Omen." I didn't know what they were talking about, but I had the same curly hair and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you probably had the same personality, I'm imagining.
She'd take me to all her friends' houses. They'd be over there fucking throwing parties and fucking smoking weed and shit. Because they were California teenagers. So I grew up around fucking, you know what I mean, bad influences, I guess. I don't know. But it was just the way it was back then. The way it was.
Yeah, you probably got all kind of contact high back then.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Maybe that's what your problem is.
But it was fun, They were fucking, 16, 15, 16, 17-year-old girls, mostly. With guys who were a little bit older, and then just me. I was probably
they're like, look, we have a
7,
little
8, 9,
town.
10, 11, around that age.
Let's tuck him under his arm and take him to see, like, fucking scary horror
take him to
movies.
see horror movies and shit.
That's what you are right there.
Yeah.
A lot of hippie actors in Eye of the Tiger. Yeah, there were.
Yeah.
Gilded Age Phoenix says the original Amityville Horror was amazingly scary. I remember watching that on Selectavision over and over again. Yeah, I saw it a bunch of times when I was a kid. It scared... Well, I kind of feel like horror movie, like that scared me. The Shining scared me when I saw that in 1980 or 1981. But it scared me, but I still wanted to like watch it again. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like that's what differentiates a horror person from a non-horror person. Because I didn't realize this at the time because I don't know. Ever since I was a kid, I was just like, I like scary shit, and I just wanted all the scary things. But I didn't realize that there are some people that absolutely will not watch horror movies. I didn't realize there's a whole subset of people. I don't know, maybe some of the people in the chat are people, I doubt it, but they will not watch horror movies because they're too scary, but they want to know what happens in the horror movies, so they will just read the Wikipedia synopsis of the plot. And then be like, ooh, scary. You know what I mean? But they won't actually watch it. Which, okay, you do you, but that is very, very weird. That's very weird to me. Now, I have seen some movies that I kind of dreaded watching. Like, if it's real... Like, if it has a reputation for being really, like... I don't know. Like, if there's a lot of really unpleasant shit in it, like there's a lot of, hey, somebody drinks a bowl of vomit or something like that... Then I'll kind of be like, do I really want to watch this and shit like that? But usually I'm all about it. Gramthars says, Tom is exactly the same as he was in high school, just a bit more world-wise now. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah. Yeah, and she, oh shit, what was that sound?
I don't know.
I'm loaded.
Yeah, obviously.
I proved it before. I was talking about Kimmy, and I said she looked like Carrie Fisher, and I fucking pulled a photograph out and showed everybody, the audience. She did. She looked just like Carrie Fisher. Even Jenny was like, "Yeah, she does. She looks just like Carrie Fisher." That's exactly how she looked like. And she was during those days, she was anywhere between 13 to probably about 16 or 17. That's because, she lived next door to me for fucking forever until I moved away. She probably even knew me when I was fucking 3 or 4 because she grew up next door to me. So she would have been probably about 10 or so when I was born, maybe. Around that time, I don't know. I was probably about 2 or 3. She's probably about 10. My mom knew her mom.
Tammy says, my stepfather got our 17-year-old babysitter pregnant and then ended up marrying her after my mom divorced him.
Damn.
That's pretty fucked up.
Damn.
That's pretty fucked up.
She might have been hot.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Now, we'll get into this Sunday because the movie that we're going to talk about on Sunday, Malone, with Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Malone.
Has some kind of like... I don't know,
Jenny was getting upset
dad and
about
teen. Well, I wasn't upset about it. I was just kind of like, are we going there? Or are they just like, dude, she's like fucking 17 years old. Come on.
I think she was supposed to be older than that.
She wasn't though, because like the shit in her room was like kid stuff, like a teenage girl would have.
Well, I think she had been living at home for a long time.
Right, but you would still like modernize. I think she was like a teenager.
I think she was maybe 19 or 20.
I don't know. She read younger to me. She read younger. She read like the way she was she looked young, and the way she was acting was like a teenage girl. She wasn't acting like a girl in their 20s.
This is late 80s though. I mean, fucking that shit fucking it was going down like that.
Well, at least they didn't go there, because like I'm watching the movie,
he was
going
too
like,
much for that. He's like,
is this gonna like, is this gonna go like weirdly like dad-daughter porn? It's like I'm not about it. It's like really creeping me out a little bit. But
well, he was probably about what, 40 something.
I don't know how old he was, but
I don't know how old he was supposed to be. But she was probably about 20, I think.
The actress might have been 20, but like I said, the character read younger to me.
Right.
She read like 17.
The way I took it is that she was like a woman in her very early 20s who had not left home and had a lot of girlish stuff in her room still. That's how I took it.
And had some unfulfilled desires.
Well, she had never left home.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
So
some handsome older stranger blows into town.
Well, remember, her dad wasn't upset about it.
With a crazy hairpiece.
Yeah, he had a crazy
hairpiece. And she wants some of that.
Her dad wasn't upset about it. I think he was maybe 20 years old.
The dad was played by Herschel from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Scott Walker.
Yeah.
He was in Cold Blood too. I know it's very reductive to just say he was Herschel in The Walking Dead, but I kind of feel like that's how people would remember him.
Right.
Because he passed away, didn't he? Like a couple of years ago. But yeah, he was in a fuck ton of stuff like in the 60s and 70s. Gramthars says, tonight's episode is going to be classic, I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm sure it probably will. I might need another drink.
You know one? Here.
Gilded Age Phoenix says, the Exorcist pea soup scene, I didn't like it. Yeah, honestly, it doesn't bother me. Vomit doesn't bother me as much as it used to in real life or in movies. I still don't love it. Used to be when I was I know there's a word for it, but when I was growing up, I couldn't even like hear, like if one of my siblings got sick, like or something, and was throwing up in the bathroom, I had to block my ears or I would throw up as well. So there was that. And so it took me a long time to really get over that. And like when I was watching a movie and somebody threw up in it, and like for whatever reason, like a lot of movies just seem like, hey, let's have somebody puke in a movie. And I was just kind of like, why do we need to show that? I don't know. But so like they'd show it, or like the noise or something like that, and I'd be like, yeah, I can't watch that because it would make me gag. It doesn't bother me as much anymore, but it's usually not too bad as long as it's not too egregious, and it's like if the noise isn't too like, it's, I don't know, squishy. But yeah, if it goes like the full audition route where it's like you're making somebody drink it or something like that, I'm like, yeah, no thank you. No thank you. I'm fast forwarding through that shit. Like I said, anything to do with vomiting or pooping or peeing to a lesser extent, yeah, like bodily fluids, not having it. Honestly, I can watch gore all day long. You can just fucking do whatever the fuck you just, crack somebody's rib cage open and eat their heart. I don't give a shit about that. That doesn't gross me out. But anything having to do with like vomit or poop, no thanks. No thanks. Yeah, so it took me a while to, like, get through the pea soup scene. Like, I used to kind of, like, watch it like that, because I'm like, ugh. But then I was just kind of like, well, I would have to, like, tell myself, it's not really vomit, it's not really vomit, it's not really vomit. And nobody drank it, so I was okay. So I can watch it now, you know. Yeah, we're getting into porn fantasy stuff now. I kind of want to talk about that, like, on... Because, like I said, we watched this movie, Malone, with Burt Reynolds, and we just found it randomly. I think it was on Amazon Prime. And we watched it, and I said, oh, we'll talk about that on the Sunday Matinee Show. And it was a later film. It was the 80s, but I can't remember what year it was. And there was, like, yeah, so it was, like, kind of uncomfortable. They didn't, like, go the direction that I thought, because I'm like, oh, my God, are she being introduced as a love interest because she's, like, clearly a teenager? And I was, like, kind of weirded out, because I'm like, Burt Reynolds was not old, but he was very clearly old enough to be her dad, and then some. So I was just kind of like, yeah, but at least they didn't go there, so, you know. Oh, my God. Oracle says, I work in healthcare. I know a ton of words to describe disgusting stuff. Oh my God. Yeah, my sister used to do medical coding for a GI clinic. So she got all the fun stuff that she used to code, like, you know, people getting stuff lodged in their colons and whatnot. So she always had, like, really good stories about that. But I always kind of wanted to hear them, but then I was just like, oh, why did I want to, like, listen to that? But, you know. Dermot says, the dog with the man's head on it from Invasion of the Body Snatchers freaked me out for years afterwards. That's still, I would submit that is still a great image, because it's just so unsettling.
Yeah, it was weird.
I mean, because it was just so unexpected, it just kind of, like, comes up out of nowhere, and it doesn't, like, really factor into the plot all that much. It's just, like, this random, like, fucking weird image, and I kind of feel like that's why it's so effective. I really like that movie. It's just, there's something, like, the vibe of that one is just, like, so fucking strange, and I don't think that can be replicated. That was just, like, a 70s thing. Yeah. A lot of 70s movies had that weird fucking vibe to it that you can't really, like, replicate nowadays. Ian England says, was listening to Terrence Pop the other day. Someone wrote in a story about someone's stomach backing up and throwing up shit. Honestly,
Terrence Pop?
I don't want to talk about that too much because I'll start to gag, but we used to watch, I think it was Monsters Inside Me.
Yeah.
And one of the guys on there, and I still remember this because it was so gross, he had a similar thing happen. Like, he had some kind of, like, backup, and, yeah, he started, like, throwing up shit because it couldn't come out.
It usually has something to do with those damn fucking little metal fucking barbs from the dam.
Well, yeah, we brought that up. There was, like, more than one of those. Cleaner. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, and like I said, I guess that's why the ones they sell now are like plastic, although I don't see how that would be any better, like if one of the plastic ones came off.
Because plastic's a lot softer than metal.
I guess. But...
What's up?
And it's weird because I'd never even thought about it, and then I was just like, oh my God, holy shit. Yeah, you clean the fucking barbecue with this metal brush, one of the things comes off, like one of the bristles, gets in your burger, and you just eat it. And then it's like perforating all your shit inside. Yeah. Like, holy crap. Humans are so vulnerable. We're so soft, and it's just like, it just takes this little bitty thing like that, like poke holes all up in your shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking scary. This is like, I'm fascinated by that show, but like watching that kind of like stressed me out too, because like some of the people there were like, again, like not doing it. They just ate a burger, or they were like walking in a park, or they were just doing like regular shit. And then all of a sudden they're like, you know, shitting out their intestines and stuff like that because of some fucking weird parasite or whatnot. Holy crap. But, yeah.
Tyler the guy says the 70 movies looked more warm, and they were like set and lived in worlds. Modern stuff looks too sterile. Yeah. Well, I think it's a lot of 70s movies that you're watching were kind of just filmed on location in real locations.
What they had. That's what I was going to say, yeah.
And then later on, a lot of this shit that's modern, they're trying to film it on somebody's set. A lot of it has to do with spreading money around inside the industry, you know. And there's not as much There's not as much fucking realism in movies today. That's why a lot of them suck. But, you know, you're only going to be able to do what you have to do. It's an industry.
Well, and I think, too, that sometimes, and I get this, like, sometimes, like, particular directors or movie makers, they're like, we want, like, a fantasy, we want to create our whole entire world, you know, that they can control, maybe, where I feel like the 70s movies, they wanted, well, 60s and 70s, I kind of feel like was more the heyday of realism, because you were just coming out of, you know, 40s, 50s, which was a lot more stagey, and people were kind of used to, you know, seeing things on sets and shit like that, whereas in the 60s and 70s, they started filming a lot more on location and, like, in real places. So, you know, people kind of got the vibe of, like, things that were, like, real, and I kind of feel like people got a lot more into that aesthetic. Whereas when you got, like, later on, people, I kind of feel like they went more in, like, a fantasy-based direction where they wanted to, like, create these whole entire worlds, especially now that they have CGI and they can literally create a whole entire world inside a computer. So there's that kind of thing. Oh, so everybody's talking about the barfing scene, the pie-eating scene in Stand By Me. I still can't watch that. Honestly, I might be more grossed out nowadays. I might be less grossed out by vomiting than I am about watching people eat a lot. Like, I can't watch, you know, this, like, competitive eating competition. Not that I would watch those, but I'm just saying that I can't watch those. Actually, for a while, I was watching Man vs. Food. Is that even still on? I don't think it is. Where that guy would go and eat, he'd go around the country and, like, eat the fucking 40-pound burger or whatever the hell. He'd go to, like, every restaurant that had these big, like, eating challenges, and he would go and do them. I had a hard time watching that without feeling nauseated. Because it's like watching people eat. I've always been real grossed out by watching people eat. Especially if they're eating, like, loudly, or if it's eating something that's, like, really fatty or, like, with a lot of gravy on it or something. It's like, I have a hard time watching people eat. I don't like it. But yeah, so that's gross to me also. It's worse if I can hear it, too. Like, the sound of it. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like it. Oracle says this is why food safety is important. Yeah.
What you doing, Poop? Look at Poop.
Gramthars says James Cameron has 4 Avatar movies in the hopper that he's been working on for 10 years.
That dude's not going to do that.
I don't think I'm going to sit through 4 more Fake World Avatar movies unless I'm in a coma state. Yeah, it's like the first one was fine, but it's like... I think we said this on one of our other shows where I was like, Avatar is one of those movies where it's like everybody, it was like a huge thing like at the time and everybody saw it, but then like a year or two later, everyone kind of forgot about it. Like it didn't have a lot of staying power. Like it was very like, you know, of the moment.
Well, there wasn't a follow-up in time. And then he came out with Alita Battle Angel. He produced that. That was a great movie. But then they didn't want to fucking make a follow-up. They didn't want to, you know, and you'll never see it again. Directors have half-lives. And that particular director has reached his, if you ask me. Cameron, you're not going to see anything good from him anymore. He's too old, too rich, and too lazy. A good director is a fucking young and a hungry director who's trying to make a name for himself.
Or if they're older, they're a weirdo.
Yeah.
Like exactly. David Lynch.
Yeah, Lynch. Or his son.
Where they don't like...
Yeah.
Or no, David Cronenberg, if that's who you're talking about.
Yeah.
David Lynch has a daughter,
right.
Jennifer Lynch,
right.
who is also a director.
Well, that motherfucker was weird. But the Cronenbergs, they were both good. Both Cronenbergs.
Yeah, I'm kind of digging the Brandon Cronenberg movies. I've only seen a couple of them, but yeah, he's following a dad. But he's got his own kind of thing on it, too.
Cronenberg just fucking... He had a good dad who knew about making movies, and when he's making his movies, he's got his own signature on them. They're not Cronenberg copies, but you definitely see the lineage. Definitely.
Yeah, he's got his own obsessions, but like I said, you know, you're going to see that because that's his son, obviously. So they're going to be similar in a lot of ways, and if he goes into the similar kind of line of work, they're going to have, like, similar obsessions about, you know, bodily invasion and that kind of stuff, which was one of his big things.
Yeah. But, most of these directors have a half-lives. I mean, that includes Spielberg. I mean, he was good, but he was better when he was younger.
Generally, like, artistic, and this isn't always the case, but artistically, it's not just movies, it's music, it's anything. Writers, their writers tend to be a little bit older when they start out, but generally, something like music or movies, usually they're better when they're younger.
Yeah.
But, I mean, not always, but like I said, I kind of feel like the particular thing that we're talking about now, like James Cameron, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, stuff like that, I kind of feel like their younger shit was better because I think they got all this success, and it's really hard to still be creative and out there and shit like that when you just have, like, money thrown at you, like, all the time. So...
And Lucas was never great as a director. He was a great...
He's an idea guy. He's a concept
conceptual kind of guy. He was good at certain things, but he needed supervision. I mean, Star Wars was saved in edit by his wife. THX 1138 had a lot of good stuff in it. But he's not somebody you want to have a final say on things. He's somebody you want to be in the mix, to come up with the idea. But you want somebody else to tell him no. Because you can't trust him on his own.
That's dumb as shit.
Yeah, you can't trust him on his own.
Well, some people are like that. Like I said, you have some people like I said, David Lynch or David Cronenberg, something like that have a very singular vision.
Yeah.
And they're going to do their shit, and it's very distinctive, and it's always worth watching.
Yeah.
And then you have people, and I'm not saying it's one thing's better than the other. I'm just saying that sometimes you have people that are like really, really good at one thing, but not very good at other things. And like I said, movie making is a very collaborative process.
Yeah.
And it's not... I mean, it's really not something that is necessarily one person's vision.
Yeah.
Because you have all these other people working on it and, like, their input too.
The best Star Wars movies had Lucas in them, but they were basically British movies. Yeah. They were British movies.
True.
And they were British World War II movies. And when you looked at fucking Empire Strikes Back, which is the best of them all, there isn't a whole lot of George Lucas in that. It's a British World War II movie.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And then when he started to have almost full control, like in his prequels, they weren't bad. They're better than the bullshit they're making today, but they just didn't have
I don't know. I think
that...
I like the more recent ones more than the prequels.
Really?
I still hate the prequels.
I think the prequels were
so
better.
Bad.
Well, it's just a matter of a taste, I guess.
The Sith one was good, but like the first two were just awful.
I thought they were okay. They were at least Star Wars.
And I watched them several times. I gave them a chance because I saw them in the theater, and I was kind of like, I was hyped, but then I was like, I kind of feel like I didn't like that, but that can't be right. And then, but like later on, like I watched them again, I'm like, nope, I hated it. The third one was good, but the first two were awful. Gramthars Hammer says, Man vs. Food Guy Casey Webb is still on. Holy shit. Now with a BMI of 44. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, he probably just got fatter and fatter. I kind of liked that show, but I don't know. I had a hard time watching it because I can imagine myself in that situation because I can't eat shit. I couldn't even eat like a fucking 100th of what he eats like in one sitting, or I would barf all over. And I could just see it in his face that he just like really wanted to like fucking throw up, and I'm just kind of like, I can't watch it anymore, so I couldn't watch it.
When it comes to the new Star Wars, Force Awakens wasn't that bad. But then when Last Jedi and the other one came out, I was like, nah. I just didn't think they were good at all. And it was the writing. Although, the second one, Last Jedi, was probably one of the better looking ones. It looked good, but I just didn't like the story. As soon as I saw some of that shit that happened, I was like, oh, no. No, the tone was just all wrong. It just wasn't Star Wars to me. The first couple fucking series of The Mandalorians, first couple episodes, seasons of it, were pretty good. I've heard that Boba Fett's pretty bad. So I didn't.
We haven't watched it yet.
I heard it was bad, so I didn't bother with it. Evidently did not too good. Mandalorian, if they keep going with it, it would be good, probably. But I don't care. I don't care anymore. I think Disney's fucked. there's just something wrong with Disney. Disney can't handle those properties. They're too corporate. It's just too fucking corporate. Those Star Wars is supposed to be something kind of like a fucking samurai movie and a Old West movie, and it was that writing came from another era, and the talent doesn't exist today. Not in the United States. Maybe another country, but then you take it to another country and they wouldn't understand it because it's got to be a Western.
Gramthars says Martin Scorsese is old but still has game. Yeah, he does, because I've seen some of his more recent movies and they are very good. Tyler the Guy says, and this is kind of interesting, he says Sam Worthington is the leading man in Avatar. It's the highest grossing film of all time and barely anyone knows who Worthington is. That's kind of surreal. Yeah, and it's like, I think, did I bring that up because we just reviewed Rogue, that Australian killer crocodile movie? Sam Worthington was in that before Avatar, and I was kind of like, oh my god, it's Sam Worthington. And then it was just kind of like, oh, this was before Avatar, so he got killed like halfway through. And it's just like funny. I haven't seen him. I'm sure he's been in a lot of stuff since then because I know that name, but you know what I mean? I haven't seen him in a lot of stuff. And then Granthers also said Clint Eastwood is still going strong at 95. And honestly, we've seen what was the last one that we saw in the theater? The Mule?
The Mule. Yeah.
That was excellent.
Yeah,
I liked that a lot.
About an old guy working for the damn Mexican drug cartels.
Although, like I said, Clint Eastwood, he's 95, man. Ooh.
Yeah.
He looks it, too.
Yeah.
Man, he looks like a fucking mummy.
Looks like a fucking corpse walking around.
But, you know, you live to 95, it's like, he probably like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I got a right to look like this.
Yeah.
He was old when I was young.
He was one of those guys that always... I kind of feel like that generation, like, always looked like old guys. Because sometimes... I would see some movie in the 80s that had, like, some old actor in it. And then, like, I'd see a movie that came out in the 50s that had that actor when they were young. And I'm like, they still look kind of old, though.
Yeah.
I was like, did they always look like they were 40? Like, even when they were, like, 20? I kind of feel like they did.
Hey, Graham, I'll tell you what. I remember fucking me and Steve went to the drive-in to watch Pale Rider. And Steve had Heidi Krapel with him, and I had Terry. Remember little Terry, little dark-haired Terry? She was fucking cute as shit, little goth girls. He was fucking Heidi, and fucking those girls were fucking lusting over fucking old, fucking what's his name?
I don't know.
Dude from fucking I'm fucking high. Clint Eastwood.
Really?
Yeah. Clint Eastwood was probably fucking in his late 40s, early 50s. And Steve is like, Heidi, would you do him? You know, that kind of shit. Is he cute? And fucking Heidi's like, yeah, he's pretty hot. And fucking girls back in the day, fucking, they were teenagers. And fucking Terry was like, yeah, he's pretty hot.
He was an alright looking dude when he was younger. It's like not my type, but you know what I mean?
He was like 40-something, 45, almost 50.
Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
During Pale Rider. And fucking the girls we were dating back when we were high school and teenagers, you know, fucking Heidi and Terry were probably about 16 or 17 at that time, maybe 17. And no, they fucking thought he was great.
They were just like wishing that you guys were all like silent and mysterious.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Clint Eastwood.
Exactly. When girls were into that shit.
Yeah, they're all like fucking silent and mysterious, so shh.
Yeah. Me and Steve looking at each other like, God damn. Fucking, you know what I mean? Jealous old fucking...
Yeah.
Old fucking... Clint Eastwood, yeah.
He wasn't really the first person that I thought... Like I said, it's not really my type. I like Clint Eastwood movies, but... I don't know. He was a good-looking dude when he was younger. Yeah. Like I said, now he looks like a mummy, but like I said, he's 95, so he's earned the right to look like that.
I'm just saying he was old when we were young.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've seen some shit when he was like, like all the fucking Sergio Leone movies and stuff like that. He's fairly young in that.
30s.
That's what I mean. He's younger than me.
Yeah.
Now. 30s. So it's just kind of like, yeah, he was young in that.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was and we've talked about this before. There was like a weird thing. I kind of feel like the boomer generation specifically, even when they were like 30, they seemed like they were old. Mm-hmm. They looked old. They acted old. Not all of them, but it was just, it was a really, really weird, it was really weird.
All right, Graham, because I remember one time being at Steve's and Carrie was there and Heidi stopped by unannounced and things got a little awkward. Oh, yeah. Fucking, I know what he's talking about. Steve was going out with Carrie and he was trying to dump Carrie for fucking Heidi. Yeah, I remember when that shit was going down. But a lot of things that people didn't know, and you know, the shit's blown over now. Fucking, it's now modern day. We can say it. Fucking Carrie was pregnant. Yeah, she was pregnant. Steve got her pregnant when all that shit went down. That was fucking some wild shit.
Are you like talking about actually people making people pregnant? Like,
yeah.
Back in the old days? Maybe they don't want that known.
He know. I think everybody knows. All his friends knew.
Everybody knows.
Because fucking then Carrie wanted to kill a bitch. All everyone did. And it was like, well, you know, it wasn't my girlfriend. That was on Steve. You know what I mean? But Steve got her pregnant. I remember when that shit happened. And fucking Carrie was older than Steve by a couple of years, I think, if I remember correctly. Graham might remember. But I think Carrie was...
So did he not believe in condoms or what?
I think she tried to get pregnant. I think.
So did he not believe in condoms?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't in the middle of the fucking Jenny. Fucking don't blame me.
Well, like I said, you can't. I'm not blaming you. I'm just asking.
Ask.
I'm just saying, it's like a lot of guys that are like, oh, the girl didn't take her birth control and fooled me into it. I'm like, did you wear a condom? No. Well, then.
Yeah. That was some weird.
That's kind of on you, though.
That's back in the 80s, man.
You got to have, like, both things going.
80s.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
If you really don't want kids.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Gilded Age Phoenix says, come on, Tom, who can
Graham
hate on...
says, man, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why that shit blew up the way it was. That's why that shit blew up the way that it did.
Somebody mentioned Gilded
I
Age...
didn't have nothing to do with it. I didn't have anything to do with it.
No one thought you did, Tom.
No.
This is ancient history, and this is nothing that I even know about.
Yeah,
so.
and then fucking Carrie tried to get even with him by fucking me, and I didn't take the bait. I was like, nah. Because I figured she'd probably flip it around and say it was my baby. She didn't have the baby anyway, though. She had, but you know how it is.
Papa, don't preach.
Yeah.
All right, anyway. Yeah. So Gilded Age Phoenix brings up Howard the Duck. Now, I will not have any bad words said about Howard the Duck because, as fucked up as that movie is, it's George Lucas. That's why they were talking about it. I kind of have a soft spot for Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
I saw it a bunch of times when I was growing up, and I kind of love it. I kind of love how weird it is. I specifically like Jeffrey Jones, who I know is a pedophile, okay, so I'm not like, we didn't know that back then. The whole thing after he'd been taken over by an alien and they were in the diner, and then like the waitress takes his eggs away and he's like, she took my eggs. It's like, I don't know why like that was so funny to me, but we should do Howard the Duck, actually.
Yeah.
I kind of love that
Gilded
movie.
Age says it sounded like a Jerry Springer episode. It was, man. Yeah, kinda.
Everyone's life is a Jerry Springer.
Yeah, it's like Jerry Springer.
Strawdog78 says George Miller is an anomaly. Fury Road still hasn't been topped. I will agree with that. George Miller, who is very old, and when he came out with Fury Road, I was just kind of like, well...
We showed up to tell everybody how to make a movie. Yeah, he's like, look, step aside.
Yeah.
Let a motherfucker show you how to make a movie. Okay. He can make a movie. And that's what he did. Yeah.
He made the movie that he's just like...
He's like, that's it. Yeah.
Mic drop.
And he's not Hollywood. He's Australian. He's an Australian independent filmmaker.
He's like,
and he's like, yeah.
And everyone was like...
Look, like, this is not how you make a movie. Okay. But all of his shit was good.
He needs to live forever.
He said that the property is in good hands if anything happens to him.
I know. Like, I'm glad that he, like, you know, made fucking arrangements for that. Yeah. Because,
it was time for a new movie.
He's a treasure, man.
Yeah.
He's a treasure. And it's like, we'll be sad when he goes.
Yeah.
Hey, Jenny, have you seen Hail Caesar? That's a fun look at the golden age of Hollywood. I have not. But I will... I have heard of it, but I haven't, like, watched it. Yeah. Yeah, who can dislike a duck lusting after Leah Thompson? I mean, I don't know. Like, I saw it in the 80s, and it's like, I didn't really think about the implications of it, I guess. as this is an intergalactic duck who has the hots for like a human woman, and they have sex in the movie.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, okay, suppose so. Like, I didn't think it was all that weird. I don't know what that says about me, but I didn't think it was that weird. Like, in the 80s. I was just kind of like, oh, okay. You know. Let me see. Disney wrecks everything it touches, says Gramthars. Isabella says, and I guess he's talking about Clint Eastwood. He looks really young in one episode of Mr. Ed. I saw him in... Oh, man, a 50s sci-fi movie. What the fuck was that? It was the one with fucking John Agar. And Clint Eastwood was like his lab assistant, and there was like a chimp involved. It's not what you're thinking, but yeah. But Clint Eastwood was like in one scene. He looked kind of young in that, but he still looked kind of old. Like, I don't know, man. It's like the boomer generation, you see them in like movies, and I'm just kind of like, I'm always like shocked when I look up how young they were.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, they were only 28 when they made this movie. And I'm like, oh, really? I was like, I thought they were like fucking 38. And it's not because they look old. It's just that I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like the cut of the clothes or the haircuts, or I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just, it's very hard to like put a finger on. Jenny would like Eastwood in Rawhide. Sam Elliott is another hot older guy. Yeah, there you go. Didn't we just see a movie the other day that had Sam Elliott in it as a very young person? Well, he was in Frogs.
I don't remember.
Remember that one?
No.
Frogs?
No.
We just saw it like a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And Sam Elliott was
in it. Yeah.
And I almost didn't recognize him
Sam
because he
Elliott,
didn't have a mustache.
Yeah, I remember now.
And then I was like, then I heard the voice and I was like, wait, that's Sam Elliott. And I was like, oh my, and then I looked it up and I'm like, oh my God, it totally is.
I remember that.
Yeah. Because I kind of feel like his mustache was so iconic that like people don't remember him without the mustache. Let's see, what else? Sounds like a Jerry Springer episode, yeah. Carrie works as a waitress in the area. I've seen her over the years a few times. Time has not been kind.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think
Heidi still looks good, though.
Yeah. Oh, Heidi was always cute. Wonder what happened to Terry. I forgot Terry's last name. She's a little brunette. But Carrie, I think, was a drinker. Fucking... But no, I don't know what Heidi does now, but Heidi was always, she was a cutie. We just call her Wookie. Tall, skinny chick.
Because she was super hairy?
Yeah, she had real long hair down to her ass. We would call her Wookie. Big old tall, skinny
I used to have
chick.
that when I was younger.
Yeah. It was kind of like a mousy blonde hair, blue eyes, and she had little spectacles. She wore little round spectacles. She was cute. That was Steve's girlfriend. I was always trying to steal her, though. Me and Steve we were good friends. We were like brothers, so we were always trying to steal each other's girlfriends. That was just part of our thing when we were teenagers. We would laugh about it, though.
I don't know. That's just like funny to me.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny to me because it's like I don't hardly remember anything about high school.
Yeah. Trying to steal each other's girlfriends all the time.
High school was fun, but it's like that was a long time ago, and it's like I don't really remember most of the people. Like any of the people that I liked from high school, which was not very many.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of like friends with them on Facebook, and like there was like a handful of people. Other than that, I don't give a shit about anybody that was in high school. That was a long time ago.
Me and Steve used to fuck around. We'd fucking threaten to fuck each other's moms. That was another thing, too.
Yeah, I remember you saying
Steve was like, I'm going to fuck your mom. This is done. No, I fucked your mom already. And shit like that. And we'd have to lie. I had to make up stories that I fucked his mom and shit to counteract it. Shit was funny, man. Then I started fucking threatening to fuck his little sister. And then he got mad.
Yeah, that's messed. Don't fuck with a dude.
Yeah.
Like
she was old enough though, but I was just saying, yeah, I'm gonna fuck your little sister. And he's like, oh, dude, that's my little sister. Says, yeah, but you fuck my mom, so I'm fucking sick. But he was lying. We were both lying. It was just the times, It was just the times. Gramthars remembers it.
Kalen Hagen says,
threats.
I still think Fury Road is better than Beyond Thunderdome. It's miles better.
Yeah, Thunderdome is kind of mediocre in some ways.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Beyond Thunderdome. It's okay. But it's my least favorite of the entire series.
Thunderdome had the wrong tone. It felt very American, and it was very sing-songy and repetitive.
Well, it was kind of like a bigger budget, like more corporate, big studio type movie. It wasn't like a scrappy, like Australian
movie. And it had an okay... It had the look was kind of correct, but there just wasn't something right about the writing. Just... Not a bad movie, just... It just wasn't right. You know?
I mean, Fury Road has to be one of my favorite films of the last several years.
Yeah.
We saw it 6 times in the theater. And we bought it on Blu-ray, and we've watched it another probably 6 or 7 times since then. That's an amazing fucking movie. Amazing.
Yeah.
They should teach that in schools. Maybe they do already. Like I said, that to me, that distills the principle of show, don't tell.
Yeah.
That's one of the best examples of it.
Yeah.
Let's all this plot like going on and nobody talks. That's fucking great.
You doing good? You all right?
DJ Maniac says, when people fuck with me now, I threaten to fuck their dad and give him the son he always wanted.
Oh, shit.
Which is horrifying when you realize I'm a straight dude. That's pretty good. I'm going to have to remember that one. I don't even have a dick, and I'll remember that one.
Poop, look at Poop.
What is she doing?
Her face is... You okay?
She's like, I don't know, I'm kind of worried. Why is everybody looking at me?
Okay.
She was like laying over there. That's her favorite chair.
Yeah.
She's laying over there, and we both turned around and looked at her, and she's like, am I doing something wrong? Or... And then she gets up, and she's like, what? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, Tyler, the guy, said that Thunderdome felt like it was kind of aimed a little bit more towards kids. I think it kind of was.
Yeah.
Or a family.
Like more like a general audience.
More like a family general audience. It wasn't really that right. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either.
Yeah, but it loved Tina Turner in it. She was great. She was the best part of it, but...
It had some strong points to it, but it had weak points too. It just...
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just not...
The mix wasn't right.
It's just not my favorite of all that. It's kind of like, that's what happens when you take something that was like this indie...
Yeah.
Kind of like low budget kind of shit that everybody was super into, and you try to...
Make it for a general audience.
And it's like... I don't know. I just kind of feel like maybe... And I like nowadays... Because I kind of feel like everybody understands that, like, look, there's only certain audiences for certain things.
Yeah.
Everybody's not going to like everything. So the more you try to make something for everybody, the more nobody is going to want to see it because it's just going to be, like, watered down nonsense.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I think the way to go is just fucking find your niche and, like, fucking hit that shit hard.
Yeah.
That's basically all you can do. Don't try to please everybody, because you're not going to. You just can't.
How long have we been streaming for?
An hour and a half.
Okay. I've been on for an hour and a half, people.
Yeah.
We may not be on forever.
Wow, shocker.
Yeah. We may not be on forever. If y'all want to send Jenny a super chat, now would be the time. What's up, Pooh? What's up, Pooh?
Tom is not participating in this show.
I'm not participating. I'm not here right now.
Well, because...
I might come back into it in a minute. My fucking head...
Do you need some cocaine or something?
I need some cocaine. Pookie, I need cocaine. Tom needs a cocaine. Yeah. She's looking at me
Pookie's like, I don't know where I can get cocaine at this time of day.
Yeah, I was out doing my whole thing today. What's going on tonight? On Friday?
I don't know. Nothing. Okay. Well, like I said, we gotta go
see the show.
Tomorrow, we are going to Will's Pub in Orlando to see A Starry Night. When was the last time we saw them? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Been a while.
Yeah.
You know what? I feel bad, but I'd like forgotten, even though I kind of knew about it because I'd done like the fucking posters and shit, but I forgot about it until Amani messaged me.
Yeah.
And said, hey, are you going to the Starry Night show on the 19th? And I was just kind of like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so Amani's going. So we haven't seen her in a long time, so it'll be nice. But, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I like Will's Pub. It's a good venue. It's been there for like a million years. Very venerable Orlando kind of like thing. But, man... I can't believe how fucking drunk. It's like, it's not even dark outside. I mean, I know it's daylight savings time, so I'm giving some, like, leeway, but it's still light out. And he's just, like, already, oh, I'm so drunk, blah, blah, blah. Jesus Christ. Gilded HPA says, uh-oh, Tom's starting to get antsy. Yeah, he's getting fussy. That's what I say. He's getting fussy. So, okay. Let me talk about, here's the thing that I found on Tubi that, I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. I don't know where it originated from. I don't know where this fucking show came from, but I'm obsessed with it. Like I said, I've mentioned it before. It's called Bizarre Murders. And I've been, like, watching... The episodes are only, like, 23, 28 minutes long. So I've been watching, like, one or two of them whenever I don't have anything. There's only, like, 52, 53 episodes. I'm almost, like... I think I only have 2 more. And I was watching this one last night. The one last night was from... I don't know what the real case behind this is. I'd have to look it up. The one last night was from 1970, because you guys were talking about Led Zeppelin and, like, shit like that earlier. This was from 1970. It happened in San Francisco, and it was, like, all hippie stuff, right? And there was this guy that was, like, an artist, who was not a very good artist, but he thought he was a great artist, so he's one of those. And he killed this girl because he was so obsessed with her that he couldn't draw anything else other than her. And so he kept, like, creeping on her, and after a while she was like, dude, like, fuck off. It's like, I have a life to live. Can you, like, not be up in my face, like, drawing me 24/7? And so he decided, well, if I'm going to be a great artist and I'm going to, like, be able to draw anything else, I'm going to have to kill her, because that makes complete sense. So he bludgeons who he thinks is this girl to death with a lava lamp, which is the most hippie-ass thing I can think of. In a house full, like a co-op house full of, like, other hippies who were high as shit and had no idea what was going on. Problem was that he actually ended up killing that girl, not the girl that he was obsessed with, but he ended up killing that girl's sister, who also lived there. And they looked a lot alike. And he wasn't really paying attention, obviously. And so he killed her. And then, like, they bring him in finally, and he's insistent. I love that he, like, admitted to the murder without, like, seeming to realize it. He was like, no, I killed this other girl. And they were like, no, you killed this girl. And he's like, no, for real, I killed the other one. They're like, no, you killed this other one. Bludgeon death with a fucking lava lamp. That might be the only time that ever happened. Another one, and I think I mentioned this on some of the comments before. One of the ones that fascinates me, it always, like, female serial killers fascinate me. Because, like I said, they tend to have different motives than male serial killers. These two were really fascinating because they were just really pragmatic, let's call it that, and just, like, completely, like, bloodthirsty. It was 2 old ladies, and they were at a rest home, like a nice rest home, like a super expensive one, you know what I mean? Like one of those really fancy resort style ones. And I guess they were, like, fucking bored, or they didn't have enough money or whatever. So they decided that what they were going to do, they got together and they're like, okay, well, we're going to go, like, and volunteer down at this homeless shelter where they're, like, feeding homeless people. And then we're going to, like, target particular homeless people that seem like they don't have any relatives to check on them. And we're going to take that homeless person and we're going to say to them, oh, you're this big talented person or whatever, come with us and we will put you up in an apartment and we'll pay your rent and we'll buy you food and we'll do all this other stuff, which most people that were homeless are like, okay, that sounds good to me, even though giant red flag. But, you know, it's 2 old ladies. So they do that, and then what they do is that they're like, okay, well, now we put you in this apartment and stuff. Just sign this paper. Right? Don't read it or anything. So the people sign the paper. Then they wait 2 years because it was a life insurance policy, and that's how long it took to mature. So they had to wait 2 years before they killed the person. So they would do that, and then they would go rent a car, drug the homeless person, put them in an alley, and then run them over with the rented car so it looked like an accident. And then they would collect the life insurance. 2 little old ladies were doing this shit.
Damn.
You can't fucking trust anybody, like I said. Fucking crazy.
Because those little old ladies did it, you can't trust anybody? Nah, anybody.
But you don't know.
Yeah, I can tell.
I'm not
I can sense it. I can sense it in a bitch.
Yeah.
I can. If I come across some old ladies and I'd fucking be sensing, they're like, nah, fuck y'all. Fuck you.
Tom's gonna punch that old lady.
Be like, fuck you hoes. I can tell. Yeah, I can tell.
Well, the thing about it is that, I mean, at least they were smart enough to, like, well, we have to, like, target really vulnerable people, which is, like, super shitty. But,
yeah,
like I said, you go to a homeless person that's been sleeping in a fucking alley and said, hey, we're going to put you in an apartment and, you know, give you food and stuff.
Yeah.
All you have to do is sign this thing. Most people are probably not going to question it too hard, even though it sounds pretty weird.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, you know, remember that case we were talking about on Wednesday night where the dude would like be like, hey, can you sign this blank piece of paper? Thanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's, if somebody asked me, hey, sign this blank piece of paper, I'd be like, absolutely not. But they target people that need help. You know what I mean? He would target women at like women's shelters with kids and stuff. It's like that were homeless or, you know, didn't have any money and shit like that. And he's like promising them, oh, I'll get you a place to live and I'll help you out, blah, blah, blah. That's all you have to do is just sign your name on this blank piece of paper. Sounds like not that big a deal, but...
You can ask Gramthars.
Don't do that.
Gramthars, you'd be able to see that one coming, wouldn't you?
Don't do
Because
that.
I can see it coming. I believe I could be able to see it coming.
Well, don't get too cocky, though,
like,
because
what?
don't get too cocky.
I'd
Because
like,
the
what?
more cocky you get, then the more people can take advantage of you because you think you know everything. So I'm always kind of like, I think it's good to like keep a good balance about that kind of shit.
All right.
And just not trust anybody.
What do you say about it, Pook? What do you say about it,
it?
Pook? She's licking her feet. Stop licking your feet.
Camp Guy said there was a real lady in California that got old folks to sign over their Social Security checks for rent and food. She killed and buried several in her backyard, kept cashing their checks. I kind of feel like once people get to a certain age, I know that serial killers in general tend to be younger males, but there have been some that were like older people. They probably get to a certain age and they're just like, fuck it. Even if they put me in prison, and it's, I'm going to die soon anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, I might as well like fucking get some people to sign over like $1 million life insurance policy and then just like whack them in the head and like bury them on my pig farm.
Well, they're thinking, well, all they could do is give me life.
That's what I'm saying.
Life is like 5 years.
Not saying that I might not go like that, because I might.
Yeah, be like,
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that.
You'd be like, well, life is like 5 years. Say shit, 10 years.
I couldn't kill an innocent person. I just couldn't.
Yeah, it's just a dick move.
I mean, I could kill a shitty person.
Yeah.
That was like, you know what I mean?
Trying to fuck you over or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I could kill a shitty person.
Most people can. They don't want to admit it though.
But
most people,
just some random ass that didn't do anything. Some random ass person that didn't do anything to me. Yeah, I can.
Most people will defend themselves, but most people will call the cops first. That's the easiest way.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, you don't know what the fuck is gonna happen with the situation. It is the safest option.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I do kind of feel like seriously. You're really being this way?
Yeah, I'm tired.
You're really being this way?
Tired. What time is it?
We haven't even been on for 2 hours.
Well, 2 hours is a long time.
It's not, though.
Okay. I'm going to sit here. I'll sit here ride with you.
You're not like, you don't have any wigs. You don't have any like fucking fun shit.
Not yet.
You're not being fun.
See, she's saying I'm not good enough for the show right now.
That's right. Well, I mean, you're not being your usual fun self. I guess because you already like drank a bunch before you got here, and you just like
partly
don't give a shit.
Partly. No,
but it's like I like the Friday night.
It's
shows.
not that I don't give a shit. I'm just tired.
Bitch, I'm always tired.
I know.
And yet I still do the show.
Yeah, I know.
Suck it up. Holy shit.
I know.
I woke up at 4:30 this morning and couldn't get back to sleep, and then I was just like, well, fuck it, I'm just getting up. So I just got up.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't sleep anymore. I got up at 4:30 because I had to go to the bathroom.
It's okay. I'll thumbs up the stream. I thumbed it up.
Well, thank you. More people should do that. Thumb it up. Yeah. I'm not going to say smash that like button, but you know. DJ Maniac says, a lava lamp isn't as hippie as you think. I still have a vintage one I use daily. I had one for a long time that I actually got from my grandparents' house. And I don't know what happened to it. What the fuck happened to that? I had it at my old house. I don't know if it got thrown out or like when I divorced my husband, I don't know if he threw it out. I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, it was like like a heavy one. Because I feel like they started making them again like in the 80s and 90s because it was like a resurgence. But those were like lighter. They were like made of plastic and shit like that. But the old ones were like metal and they were like super heavy. So I could see how you could like bludgeon someone to death with that. When I saw that show last night, I was like, oh yeah. That one I had, that lava lamp I had, you could totally kill somebody with that. It was like super heavy. Yeah, Dorothea Puente. That's right. I've heard that name. Up to 15 victims. See, that's the thing. I kind of feel like, and we've talked about this before, I kind of feel like female serial killers, they have like practical motives. They will kill people for monetary reasons, or they will kill people for like weird, like I want to get attention, like Munchausen by proxy kind of reasons.
That's
you know
not
what I mean?
practical though.
Or no, that's what I'm saying. Those are two
Yeah.
categories.
Okay.
Those are two separate categories. That's what I'm saying. So they tend to kill people they know, like family members, people that they perceive have fucked them over, or people that are gonna get something out of. It's very, very rare for female serial killers to have like a sexual motive. Like a lot of times male serial killers, not always, but a lot of male serial killers do. But female serial killers hardly ever
It's pretty much always sexual
have sexual motives. They're female serial killers, usually it's two reasons. Either they want money, or it's practical, or it's kind of a case where it's like an emotional, like a family situation, like somebody fucked them over, it's jealousy, it's like it's family shit, or it's like they're killing their kids or some weird fucked up shit like that. Yeah. But it's only those two things. You don't really see a lot of sexual motive with female serial killers. Not, there's exceptions, but not usually. Women don't usually get off on that, on killing other people, like the same way that male serial killers do. Because you know how a lot of male serial killers, not all of them, but some of them have that weird thing where it's like they get sexually aroused by like watching people, like having power over somebody and like watching them suffer and shit like that. Women don't usually have that. It's very, very rare for a female serial killer to have that. Some people say Aileen Wuornos, but I don't know. I don't think she got any like sexual. I don't think she got a sexual charge out of that. I don't think it really didn't seem like it. She seemed like she was kind of fucked up and she was just getting revenge on people as a whole because she was angry. I never got the sense that she got a sexual charge out of it. You know what I mean? Did anybody? I don't know.
They're trying to get me dressed up like Nosferatu. I'm not going to dress up like Nosferatu.
Tyler the guy says, the way I see it, if some asshole decides they have the right to try and end your life, you definitely have the right to reciprocate. Oh yeah, I agree. Holy Bearish of Doom says, human beings are a virus with shoes. Bill Hicks, that comedian. R.I.P. Yeah, it's the 100th anniversary of Nosferatu. Holy shit, isn't that crazy? That's crazy. Because I still really like a lot of those silent movies. And it occurs to me that they're more than 100 years old. But I don't know. In another way, it doesn't really occur to you. Because, like, a lot of shit's changed, but a lot of shit hasn't changed also. Holy Parish of Doom says, my wife watches crime shows, and I'm always surprised at how many women are the killers. Yeah, and one thing that I will say about the Bizarre Murder show that I was watching, I don't know how old it is, but they did seem to do like a good mix of male and female killers. But like I said, even on that show, usually the women that killed people were... Like, there was one woman on there that was... she was like a Black Widow type thing, where she would like marry somebody And then after a couple years, she'd like get sick of them and then be like, well, I'm going to need some life insurance out of this motherfucker. And then she would like, poison them or what she did in this case was she said that that an intruder had broken in. Or no, she paid an intruder to break in, but the intruder fucked it up and didn't kill the guy. So then she's like, well, fuck it, I have to do it myself. So then she waited a little while and then made it like it was like he had attacked, like the husband had attacked her, and then she had to shoot him like in self-defense. And they fell for it for like it was a small town and everybody knew her. So she actually got away with it for 3 or 4 years. They only caught her because she married again, and then she kind of tried to do it again to her new husband, which that's probably not a great idea. I mean, if you're going to do that, at least, like, fucking move so they don't, like, know, so you don't have a history. But, yeah, so then they were kind of like, okay, well, maybe you did that fucked up shit with the first. But she got away with it for a while. Camp Guy said females use poison at way higher rates than men. Yeah, they do. They tend, I mean, like I said, it just tends to be, it's just different motivations. It's just a completely different motivation. And I'm not saying that dudes don't, like, kill people for insurance and shit like that, because obviously they do. But serial killers, you tend to see, like, when you see female serial killers, they tend to be, like, angels of mercy type killers. I'm going to go around, like, poisoning all these, like, people in this hospital where I'm a nurse, because that gives them some weird, like, sense of power. They'll do that, or, they'll kill people just for money. Like these old ladies, like, running over bums or homeless people for their fucking, you know what I mean? Camp Guy said, I saw a real interview with Warnos shortly before she was executed. She was paranoid, schizophrenic. You could tell she was really crazy. Yeah, she had some problems. So she's kind of, I know a lot of people like point her out, they're like a female serial killer that's like a male serial killer, but
she wasn't like a male serial killer.
No, she wasn't. Not really. There goes my creepy phone again. Hi, Pokey. Why are you mad? Why are you making mad?
She's not mad.
She made mad eyes for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, she wasn't really like a male serial killer at all. Like I said, she didn't really seem to get any like sexual or emotional like enjoyment necessarily out of killing the people. She just shot them. She didn't like torture them or nothing.
A serial killer is a fucking serial rapist. It's the same thing. They just happen to kill the victim. Sometimes they get into killing the victim, but it's a serial rapist. And women aren't serial rapists, so that's why you're just not going to find serial killers the same way. I think Warnos wasn't a serial rapist. So she wasn't really a true serial killer.
Yeah, like not in the definition where, like, if you're talking about somebody like Ted Bundy or somebody like that had like some kind of,
she was a different anomaly. She was more like a fucking serial robber who was murdering people, not really a serial rapist.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She didn't really seem to have any kind of like, she had mental issues for sure, but she didn't really seem like the way that male serial killers seem to have these weird like paraphilias where they're kind of like BTK. It's like, oh, I like to dress up in ladies' clothes and like lay in fucking graves and shit like that. She didn't have any weird sexual shit. She was just kind of like, this dude like pissed me off, so I shot him.
Part of the problem is language and legal definitions. When you say serial killer, you think of somebody who just kills a bunch of people. That's because of the problem with linguistics. That's not what serial killers are. They're serial rapists. They just have to kill the victim, and so they're going to have a certain kind of personality. Women in general are not serial rapists. Not ones like these. So
yeah, you don't really
you're
see
not
that
gonna
a lot,
find
do
that
you?
same deal. Now, there's a difference between what you would call a serial killer and let's say like a mass murderer, which is somebody who kills somebody in a big fucking attack. That's a totally different situation. Or somebody who's say kind of like a fucking World War II fucking expert sniper. That's not a serial killer. It's just a different or somebody who's like the fucking Red Baron who fucking shoots down other fucking pilots. It's not a serial killer. A serial killer, as you know it, what you're thinking of is a serial rapist. They just happen to kill the victim. That's what.
And it doesn't necessarily mean like actual rape.
Yeah.
But
that's what's in their mind.
It's some kind of like I said, like some kind of like paraphilia.
Yeah, this is a sexual orientation, like being gay or straight or something. This is what this is. This is a sexual orientation, where their sexual orientation and fantasies about murder have merged, and their fantasies about rape. And there's a couple different versions of them. There's kind of like power rapists and who are into making the fucking victim feel frightened, and then there are other ones that are big into fucking torture, and then there's other ones that aren't into that at all. Like Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't into that at all. He just wanted to fucking make a sex slave.
Yeah, he just wanted somebody that was real passive. With him.
Yeah, so they weren't really.
But again, it was a sexual paraphilia.
Yeah, it's all sexual.
It wasn't. Yeah, you don't see that as much with female.
Right.
I can't really think.
It's some kind of weird...
I'm sure there's one, but I can't really think of like a female serial killer in that sense.
I don't think there is one.
I can't think of one. I mean, there might be, but I can't think of one offhand.
Well, what's weird is that you'll have a male serial killer who might have a girlfriend who's kind of like a satellite to this. And
yeah, we've done shows about like couples.
Yeah.
But I always kind of say, and I think I've said this on the shows, if that woman didn't hook up with that dude, would she have done that shit? Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
Even though the women that have survived those couples said that the woman was worse. But we don't really know what it was. Was she the woman acting out fucking something to try to impress the male?
I think that's exactly what it is.
Or was it anger that the male was more interested in that
too.
So it's kind of like a jealousy thing.
Yeah, that too. I think those are both both at play. Yeah. But like I said, if those factors weren't at play, I don't think she would have done that shit on her own.
No, but it's just funny to think that a woman's sexuality can be morphed into something so extreme in some cases. It's weird.
But the thing about it is that it seems like the male sexuality is already that extreme.
Yeah.
And so it's always like so it's always like surprising when a woman does it.
Yeah.
But we like it's bad because it's almost kind of like we don't expect any better from men, I guess.
I don't think it's what it is. I think what it is that the dude's fucking far out in the Overton window in terms of fucking he's already in these extreme levels. And you show it to a woman and somehow she responds to it positively. Kind of like taking somebody to go see gladiatorial combat in the arena in fucking ancient Rome. They said the same thing, that people would be against all that stuff until they went to the arena and saw these guys fighting it out, and they would get kind of emotionally wrapped up into watching this fight for survival, and then they would get addicted to it. So I think it was kind of like that.
It might be too. It might be a situation where, because I kind of feel like
all this heightened emotion,
maybe
gets this woman psyched up and somehow sucked into it, and then she sees this woman killed, and it's some kind of weird emotional high off of it, and then she's fucking like, well, I survived it, and this dude who did it, he loves me. Some kind of weird extreme.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. And honestly, like I said, I kind of feel like if left to their own devices, 99% of women would not do anything like that if left to their own devices.
No.
But if you have somebody like, like fucking Myra Hindley, for example, like one of the Morris murderers, had she never met Ian Brady, I do not think she would have done anything. I mean, they killed children.
Yeah.
Do I think she would have killed children had she never met him? No, absolutely not.
Some kind of synergy.
Absolutely not. But the thing about it, though, it's kind of like that frog in boiling water thing. It's like sometimes a woman with particular weaknesses, particular insecurities, particular proclivities, perhaps, they meet exactly the wrong person, and that person is able to, not consciously, but they're able to kind of like pinpoint those weaknesses, those insecurities.
Yeah.
And the longer they're together, there's this thing where she's like you said, she wants to like impress him now. Like he's kind of like going farther and farther out there, and she's like, oh well, I want him to like me, I want him to love me, so I have to do this, that, and the other. So I have to follow him, like follow his lead where he's going. And sometimes that's not. And if she doesn't really have a really good sense of herself or a sense of right and wrong, she might like not immediately twig onto the fact that this is really bad, like this path that you're on is leading to like something really bad. Well, and she might not have the wherewithal to like get the fuck out of it in time.
Well, I think it being wrong is where a lot of this is coming from, though. They're doing something that's wrong, and that's heightening the fucking thing. There was another fucking case where there was 2 lesbian chicks who were really into this other girl who was like a straight girl who didn't get any attention that they converted over, and they were fighting over her, and that shit went on for a long time. And eventually the 2 girls were fighting over this straight girl, and they were teenagers. They fucking were torturing her and stuff, and the fucking they had tortured her over a period of a couple of days for being a cheat or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but then they had her in the trunk of a car and set her on fire. Remember that one? That was back in the late 80s, early 90s. So it's not just a male thing.
Oh, it's absolutely not.
Lesbian females actually were doing the same kind of thing.
Well, straight females do that kind of shit too. Given the right circumstances.
Right.
I kind of feel like the thing about it is that I kind of feel like a lot of women, not all of them, but generally I think women, if the right circumstances aren't presented, then they won't go down that route.
Right.
They'll just be like quote unquote normal. But if they meet the wrong person or if they get like sucked up in the wrong situation, they'll allow themselves to go along with it because maybe deep down they kind of want to do that, but they didn't really have the quote unquote balls to do it until someone else, I guess, gave them license and said, oh, it's okay. Or, I'm doing it too, so it's fine. You know what I mean? It's almost kind of like giving them permission. So I kind of feel like there's that aspect too. Tyler, the guy, says, I feel like the difference between female killers and male killers is that a lot of the time it feels like the females see it as nothing personal because they'll use quicker, cleaner methods. Yeah, I kind of feel like the women seem like, generally, not always, they seem like they're not enjoying the killing itself. The killing is just like a means to an end. That's what I mean by women generally being more practical serial killers, in the sense that you want something from this person being dead. You're not enjoying the process of killing them.
Well, they do have some weird...
As some men do.
They do have some weird girls. They had one little girl who's running around cutting little boys' dicks off and strangling them to death. They caught her, though, before. Remember her?
Who, the little girl, Mary Bell?
Yeah, she was a little girl, and she was
10.
She was 10. She was cutting off little boys' dicks and fucking strangling them to death.
I thought we did a show about her, did we?
Yeah, but they caught her before she got old. I don't know what they did to her.
She killed 2 or 3, though.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a show about that. I don't remember if we did, though.
I talked about this earlier. It's weird that this was going on a lot in the 60s and the 70s, but then it just kind of, in the 80s, it started to trail off. And I thought that shit was weird. And I mentioned something about it on the show, and then later on people started to confirm it. I kind of had this theory that it might have had something to do with unleaded gasoline, or leaded gasoline. And then other people came out and said, yeah, leaded gasoline may have had something to do with it.
That is absolutely a factor.
You see, the ancient Romans
all right, you talk.
Did weird-ass shit. Shit that really didn't seem to make any sense. And it was only the rich people that were, or mostly the rich people that were doing this in ancient Rome. Well, one of the things that the rich people all had in common with each other is that they had water. They had running water in their houses. And the pipes were made out of lead. And rich people ate off of lead plates. They even could afford to season their food. And one of the seasonings that they used was lead. And lead is a heavy metal. It's toxic. It'll give you fucking brain damage. It's like fucking swallowing mercury. Make you crazy. Tends to make you violent. And lowers inhibitions. Well, back in the day, for some reason, somebody decided it was a good idea to put lead particles inside of gasoline because it made valves in the fucking engine head, made them quiet, you know, when they would open and close. And would help with fucking valve sealing. So during the time of the serial killer, you'll notice that they're burning leaded gasoline. And it's in a time when cities are starting to get pretty big in the United States. And if you look, the places where serial murderers are happening tend to be kind of populated areas in a place where these lead particles might be building up. So I was just thinking, I was like, man, fucking crazy shit that these people are doing almost sounds like what the Romans were doing with this fucking lead poisoning. And I was thinking about that leaded gasoline. And yeah, I don't want to say I'm a genius, but you know I'm a genius. I'm fucking thinking, I wonder if that leaded gasoline had anything to do with it. Well, Jenny looked into it and she found out that I wasn't the only person that thought of that. That they had some people that were seriously considering, you know, these so-called educated people. These so-called educated people had also figured out that, yeah, that was around the time when lead particles probably would have been building up in these urban areas. And people were breathing that. Which, yeah, that might make you crazy.
I can see it.
That might make you crazy.
Well,
yeah.
like I said, the more I look into it, like I said, I don't think it's the major factor, but I think it was a significant factor.
Might have been
sure.
a contributing factor.
I mean, there was a reason why, I mean, the 60s and 70s, and to some extent the 80s, were like the heyday of the serial killer, at least the serial killer as
especially
people
the
like
California
perceive it.
area.
Sure.
Where it was fucking heavily populated.
And we've talked a lot about, and this is something that I'm really interested in, is like the whole geographical aspect of serial killing. How certain cities at certain times became kind of like hubs of this kind of activity for various reasons.
Yeah, there was a lot of gasoline being burned in those areas. Over a period of time.
Yeah.
Those particles are building up in those areas.
Well, the thing, too, about particularly Southern California at the time was that a lot of people from everywhere were like, moving. This was a very transient population. And anytime you have a very, very large transient population, you're going to have people preying on those people because serial killers are predators. So they're like looking for victims that will perhaps not be missed. Looking for people that, you know, are runaways or sex workers or whatever. And
you go into these areas in the 60s, maybe you're born in this area. Well, those particles had been building up in those areas for decades. Wind can't blow those little particles out of there everywhere, blowing them around a little bit like pieces of invisible garbage and piling up in corners. You know what I mean? So by the time the 60s, 70s, and 80s had rolled around, there's a lot of that lead built up in those areas, blowing around. So that's what I think it was.
Fucking people up.
Fucking people up.
What are you doing?
Stop it. You know, she was pulling shit out of my other fucking thing.
She's pulling all the books. I have a bookshelf right there. Yeah. She's pulling all the books out of it.
Yeah.
When we're not paying attention, she goes over there and like starts pulling books out. Oh, and now she's gonna tear up the couch. Yeah. You guys are not paying attention.
Yeah. Phoenix says, "Yeah, Tom, you a genius." Yeah, I'm a genius. Fucking right, I'm a genius. I'm not gonna say that the lead did it. I'm saying.
I think it's totally a factor.
I think it was a contributing factor.
Sure.
You have a fucking crazy motherfucker in a bad place at a bad time, breathing in all that lead, and it's lowering his inhibitions, and he's more likely now to do something, to act on his fantasies, and he's getting a little more fucking crazy. Stop it, Pook.
She's not gonna
stop.
Just let her. Those are my old books. She can tear those up. That's why I put them on the bottom, because I knew she would tear them up.
Because it started to trail off around the time they stopped selling that leaded gasoline.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the height of serial killer activity, as far as I can remember, was like late 80s.
Yeah.
And then like by the time the 90s rolled around, it was starting to like decline.
Yeah, well that was around the time of unleaded gasoline.
Yeah, I mean there's still some around, obviously, but it's not like it was. It's not like it was.
You don't have all this fucking traffic running around blowing that shit out of the tailpipe. Or them bananas in the tailpipe. You know? They don't have the banana in the tailpipe like they used to.
Everyone had.
And it would not surprise me. That's lead, man. Make you crazy.
I mean, everybody knows that lead does fucked up shit to your brain.
Yeah.
Gilded H Phoenix says some women are just bad. Yeah, that's right. There are some women who want to do bad but are shy to try it. Then when they find the right guy, they set their wild side free. Oh yeah. Now, like I said, I've said this before. I'm not saying that woman is like good. I'm sure she's like imagined all this shit in her head. Had she not met, like I said, Myra Hindley, Carla Homolka, who like some of the, women in the couples that we've talked about before. I'm always kind of curious, had that woman never met the right, quote unquote, wrong man, she would have just maybe had a normal life and then just had some really fucked up fantasies or like wrote some fucked up horror fiction or something like that. But would she have ever like killed anybody? Like, I don't know. Like, I doubt it. I don't think that a lot of women, they don't really have, even if they have like the instinct to like act on it, which a lot of women do, but you wouldn't actually do it. I kind of feel like they need that dude that's kind of like, yeah, we're gonna do it, it's gonna be awesome, and it's I'll love you forever and blah blah blah. I kind of feel like they need that extra thing, like to do that shit. I don't think they would do it on their own. Just they wouldn't.
Some kind of weird synergy.
They would think about it, well, sure, but they wouldn't actually do it.
They had a lot of male serial killers running around doing that kind of shit, and it's because there was another dude with them to see it. So that's part of it.
Well,
too.
yeah, that's another.
There's like a synergy.
Yeah, I mean the whole like. Honestly, that really kind of like fascinates me. The whole like fucking even whether it's male female or whether it's male male, like dudes that went around like serial killing like together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like fucking
egging each other on.
Yeah, I can see it more with dudes.
Yeah,
but I see the couple dynamic too. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like it's kind of a thing where, as I mentioned before, I think like the woman gets to a point where it's like, whoa, I have to like keep up with him, and then I have to top him, like I have to impress him,
right? And
so they'll be like worse. Because we were talking about Fred and Rosemary West,
yeah,
and somebody brought that up before. Camp Guy brought that up, and I was kind of like, pretty much everybody that escaped from them said that Rosemary was worse than him.
Yeah.
And that might be why. I mean, I'm not saying she wasn't a fucked up person. I'm just saying that her meeting an even more fucked up person than her exacerbated her worst tendencies.
Yeah.
And so she was going to go way the fuck out there and like try to top him.
Yeah. She was doing weird BDSM shit with her own sons though. They were little boys, so she was crazy too. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I'm not saying that these women don't have problems, because obviously they do. But I'm just saying that if left to their own devices, if they had never met those dudes, would they have done this shit of their own volition? Most of the time, probably not.
I think the dudes unleashed it.
Yeah. But the problem is that they tend to be attracted to these types of dudes.
Yeah.
And then these dudes kind of like bring it out of them. Yeah. Like bring the worst out of them.
Yeah.
And then at that point they're like, oh, well now I have license to act like that. So now I'm going to be like even worse than him.
Yeah. Because
I'm trying to top him. I'm trying to be better. So I kind of feel like there's that kind of like situation going on too. Wicked Lee says, I have that Nosferatu poster that's on the wall.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Mine is on poster board. It's a German promo from the OG release. Honestly, that is my favorite. I think that's my favorite movie poster that I've ever owned. I've had that since the mid-1990s. And I actually got that. My ex-mother-in-law bought me that for my birthday one year from in the UK. And from some shop in the UK. I don't remember, some horror store. And I'm just like, I love that poster like so much. I love that kind of like, because it's a little bit Art Nouveau, which I really like. It's an illustration, which I also really like. Because I don't like a lot of these movie posters that are like photos. That's so lame. I like the old school like movie posters that were like paintings, you know? That's why so many of them, like, I like that Frankenstein one back there and shit like that. I like the paintings and stuff. Gilded H Phoenix said women need that extra testosterone push to do stuff.
Is that what it is?
I guess.
Okay.
So maybe it's not a good idea to like give women testosterone. Yeah, we'll all become serial killers. Like I said, we think about it. I think about it plenty.
Oh, you think about being a serial killer?
No, I don't think about being a serial killer. But you do kind of like think about, you know, if somebody pisses you off, you're like, man, I could like tear that fucking person's head off.
Oh, okay.
And like, you know what I mean? And eat it.
Because if you think about being a serial killer, I'm going to get rid of you.
No, I'm just saying, but everybody has those thoughts.
Get mad.
You get mad, and it's like, yeah, you want to like fucking turn that person inside out. I get that. Everybody has that. Yeah. Whether you act on it or not, that's a whole different situation. And I kind of feel like 99% of the time, women will not act on it unless there's some other factor at play. And usually it's a dude that's already a serial killer that's already done that shit. And he's just like, yeah, baby, it's okay. I'll love you even more if you like do some even more fucked up shit than me. Although I wonder, you know what? Now I'm wondering, can I have another drink?
Yeah, I'm getting sleepy though.
Oh, Christ.
I am getting sleepy.
It's not, we haven't been on that long. We haven't been on that long. Now I'm kind of wondering, please somebody tell me if this is the case. Because now I'm imagining that there's a serial killer couple out there somewhere where the dude was like he's like, I'm just like the freakiest, like I'm the worst serial killer ever. And then he finds a girlfriend and she's like, oh yeah, I'm into that. And like she starts doing it too. But then she like surpasses him and she like starts coming up with all this fucking crazy shit that like he never even thought of. And then I wonder if his ego is kind of like, if he gets kind of like a fragile ego about it. And then he's like, well, I'm gonna have to kill this bitch too because now she's like thinking of better shit than I was thinking of, and I don't like it. So I kind of feel like maybe that has to have happened, right? That has to have happened. I kind of feel like at some point that had to have happened. Jen Allen says Rose West might be an exception. She committed murder while she was in jail. Yeah, that's true. She might be. Yeah. I mean, she's kind of messed up. I was kind of thinking of... I watched this other thing the other day. I can't remember what her name was, but she was kind of one of those ones that was part of a couple. Maybe one of you guys can remember, like, can remind me. But she was, like, part of a couple, and then he had done some fucked up shit, and then she thought she was going to, like, impress him. She's like, oh, I'm going to kill this dude that we said we were going to kill, and then I'm going to, like, be in this van, and I'm going to, like, fucking cut his head off, like, with my bare hands. And it'll be, like, super brutal. And, like, because she was, like, trying to impress him and shit. And, like, the dude wasn't there, but she was just, like, trying to show him that that was, like, something that she did. But I was saying that while you were gone, I said there had to have been some kind of, like, dynamic where, like, a serial killer couple, like, the dude was all, yeah, like, I'm all, like, fucked up and I do all this fucked up shit. And then, like, the woman came up with all these crazy fucking ideas that he never even thought of and did way more shit, like, fucked up shit than him. And then he was, like, really, like, kind of intimidated. And, like, his ego got, like, all fucking bruised and stuff because he was like, oh, man, she's thinking of better shit than me. So maybe I should, like, probably, like, kill her now? I don't know. Has that happened?
I don't know.
I kind of feel like that has to have happened. Mary Connolly says there's a new YouTube on all things psychopath. Goes over lots of aspect, about 2 hours. Okay, so I'm going to have to look that up. Punching someone out, maybe, but not killing them. Yeah, it's like, honestly, I wouldn't usually kill... Well, I don't know. I wouldn't usually kill a person. It depends on what they did. Because some people that are walking around in the world... I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe the world would be a better place if they weren't walking around in the world. I'm not going to kill them. It's not my place, but I'm just saying. If they just drop dead of a heart attack or a stroke or something, I'm not going to be upset about it. Let's say that. Mary Connolly says... what are they talking about? Oh, they're talking about Come on, you need to like fucking.
Well, who, me?
Gilded Age Phoenix says, I kind of like Tom. Don't kill him, Jenny. I wouldn't kill him.
She couldn't.
I mean, if I'm gonna kill somebody, I'm gonna do like the regular. I wouldn't do that, but if I was gonna kill somebody, it would just be like a random ass stranger because I'm not dumb. I'm not gonna get caught. Come on.
All I gotta say is Pepsi Zero is not as good as fucking Coca-Cola Zero. It's just not. Drinking it right now.
Is that you at the DG?
Yeah.
The DG, the Dollar General.
The Dollar General. Yeah, Pepsi Zero is not as good.
I will say that the Dr. Pepper Zero is actually not bad.
It's good, yeah.
And if anything, it's kind of sweeter than real.
This isn't that good.
Dr. Pepper, which is a little unsettling.
Yeah.
I like Dr. I thought it was a little sweet. Like I could drink a whole can, but it was a little much. You know what I mean? Mike Sarnicki says, Tom, I'm a minimum wage loser with no education, living with the folks, 41 years old. Should I even bother with attempting to make something of myself, or should I just pack it in and have fun? Dude, I'm like 49, and every single day I think to myself, look at how much life have I wasted, like doing this, that, and the other thing. But then I think to myself, you know, of some like famous writers or something like that didn't even like publish their first thing until they were like 50. So 41...
41's young.
That's still pretty young.
I'd have to see you. Dude.
That's still pretty young.
I had to look at you and go, yeah.
Don't ever think that you're too old to do anything. No, seriously, don't ever think you're too old to do anything. You don't 41, know.
You can still do anything.
You don't know how much longer you're gonna live. You could live another legitimately, you could live another 50 years. That's a long time. So, you know, do what you got to do. Never ever think that you're too old. Seriously, nowadays, I've seen like some fucking YouTubers that are like 28. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so old. Seriously, 28.
Yeah.
And there's like, oh my god, I'm so old. I'm like, holy crap. I didn't even start complaining about being too old until I was at least 40. Come on now. 28 years old. You think you're old? Jesus Christ. You have like so much fucking life left. I mean, like I said, it's... Well, like we were talking about earlier, and like Tom's bumming everybody out, saying, well, you could die anytime, blah, blah, blah. It's like, don't care about anything. But no, I could live another 50 fucking years.
Yeah.
That's not crazy. If I lived another 50 years, I'd be 99. Which, like I said, my great-grandma lived until she was 92, and she might have lived longer if she hadn't, like, killed herself. But, so it's not crazy. I don't think I'm going to live that long, but you know what I mean? I could. So
41 is still pretty young.
I don't really feel all that old.
Let me finish what he's asking. Let me answer his question. 41 is still pretty young. I haven't seen you. I don't know what your deal is. I don't know where you come from. I don't know what your prospects are. I mean, I just don't know enough about you. But at 41 is still very young. You can do a lot in a very short period of time if you're smart. All right. I mean, shit, I'm fucking 52 or 53. I kind of like the way I am now better than I was at 41.
Yeah, me too.
But I started looking like this, my size and everything, relatively recently, the past couple of years, because I understood how to do it. It all depends on what it is that you're trying to do and what it is you want to do. If you don't want to do anything, then just fucking sit back and do nothing. But if you want to do something, then you got to figure out what it is you have to do to get it done. You know, if you want yourself to look a certain way, or if you want to look, and here's something else, man. Jenny will fucking tell you. I'll tell you. People do treat you differently. People treat you based on how you look. They just do. And sometimes you might have to change how you look. But that's not a big deal. You can work towards that. That's possible. You know, gain weight, lose weight, get bigger, get smaller, whatever. You know, it's just if you have the discipline and the money, you know, you go through the fucking training to do it, and you take the right kind of chemicals or whatever it is you need, and you can do it. So
well, and don't think you have to do everything like today.
No, it's all
because I kind of feel like I struggle with that too, and it's like I'm constantly at war with myself. Not so much about like physical fitness or anything like that, but like other like doing projects and stuff. And I'm kind of like, man, if I can't get this project done like today or like this week, then like, it's all over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, so I have to really, really like pace myself and put things into, that was one thing that I learned a couple of years ago that actually helped me out a lot. Break everything down to like tiny, small pieces.
Yeah.
So I do like every day I get up, I have a list. What are we doing today? Let's do this little piece of this, you know, just get one chapter done, just get one something done, like get a homepage done, get something like that. And so then you'll feel like you're progressing towards something. Like, don't feel like you have to do everything in one day, because I have that problem.
Brian Manowitz is a friend of mine. You might know him as the vegan black metal chef. He's been on television and shit. And Brian was like...
He's a rad dude, by the way.
Yeah, he's vegan.
Yes.
And he's also getting into bodybuilding and stuff. And I saw him last week at the club, and I said, "You're getting bigger, Brian." He goes, "Oh, thanks, man, thanks." He's getting a little bit bigger, okay? He's looking pretty good. He's a little bit younger than me, probably by about, how much? Maybe about, not 10 years, but maybe about 7,
I don't
7,
remember
8.
how old he is.
He's probably about
actually.
6, 7, 8 years younger than me.
Maybe.
And he was like, "Yeah, man, fucking, thanks for saying so. You're the biggest guy I know." And it kind of struck me. I was like, "I'm the biggest guy you know?" And I was like, I'm looking around and goes, "Man, you don't, nobody here looks like you." And I'm looking around in the club and I'm realizing, yeah, I guess nobody looks like me. But you see, I don't see myself the way other people see me. Because it was a slow process. And it didn't take that long. It took about, you can go back and look in the videos. It's all archived right here. About 2 years. Well, about 3 years probably. I started training about 3 years ago. And I probably could have speeded it up had I jumped on gear a lot earlier and fucking done higher doses, but that's not what my goal was. My goal was health and to make it like a slow transformation. So, but at 41, a lot is fucking possible. Yeah, shit. If you were to make me 41, I'd feel like a young man. I'd be doing all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, that's still pretty young.
That's still pretty young.
Like I said, I divorced when I was 38.
Yeah.
And had a whole, fucking resurgence.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where I was, dating again, and I was, clubbing and shit like that. So, 41, does not really seem that old to me. So, Holy Parish of Doom, brings up... Yeah, I saw that. Brings up something interesting. It's interesting that people view life in terms of doing something. I think much of that is merely an offshoot of the consumer capitalist system and values. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Most people equate doing something with your life with making money. And, yeah, I get what you're saying. What I'm saying, though, is that my thing is that I feel like when I was younger, I feel like I spent so much of my time, I had so many ideas. I wanted to do all this stuff. But I had, these weird mental things where I kind of felt like, well, whatever I do, if I wrote a story, it wasn't good enough. Or it's nothing was ever good enough. I don't want to send it to a publisher. It's not good enough. If I did artwork, it's not good enough. So I spent, I kind of feel like I spent the first half of my life not, doing stuff, but not, trying to do anything more with it because I felt like it wasn't good enough or it wasn't good as other people's stuff. So I kind of feel like my whole entire late 30s and early 40s was trying to get past that mindset. So nowadays I'm kind of feel like, yes, I have to make money because obviously I have bills to pay, and I'm a freelancer. I have 3 or 4 different gigs going right now. This show is one. I have graphic design, I have books, I have stuff like that. So it's I'm always kind of struggling to make enough money to pay bills. But honestly, if somebody handed me $1 million tomorrow, I would still do shit just because I want to do shit. So it's not so much that I want to make money, obviously. But if I had money and I was just and I could just do whatever I wanted, I would still do creative shit. Because I like to, and that's just kind of that's what I enjoy and that's what I would want to do. So I don't, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that, so it's not so much about making money, but I do kind of get it. Mike Cernicki says, Sacramento has the worst of the worst. And he's Dorothea Puente, we talked about that. I would do a show on Richard Chase, Vampire Side. We did do a show about him. We did a show about... We did a show, I think it was about vampire killers in general. So it was Richard Chase, and it was that fucknut that was fucking...
Yeah.
What the fuck was that dude's name?
I don't know. What dude?
The dude that, your friend was their lawyer. What was that kid's name?
Yeah.
The vampire cult.
Yeah, Visago.
Visago.
What was it?
Visago. What was his real name? What was his real name? The Vampire Killers.
Yeah.
We did a whole Vampire Killers show. Richard Chase was on there. It was a while back, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. DJ Maniac said you did you did half a show on Chase.
Yeah.
He's worth at least 3 hours, yeah. Mike Cernicki says, you guys have the relationship I want. Really good friends that live together. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of like, it's what?
It's not perfect. I mean, nothing's perfect.
Well, nothing is.
Yeah.
We're humans.
Yeah. So you don't want to idealize everything. It's just, and then somebody's in there saying that, well, it's all just, Tom's a hormone king. It's all about hormones. No, it's not about that. Yeah, your hormonal profile is the key. That's the basis for all fucking healthy living. If you have that, there's a lot of stuff you can do on top of that. So it's not just that. It's a bunch of stuff. But I found out that it's just dealing with a lot of people. Most people don't have what it takes to even fucking want the knowledge or to know to do any of this. You also have to work out, you know. And you got to put out at least 80%. Most people can't even put out 30%, you know. But you got to put about 70, 80%, and you'll fucking hold together. You put out 90%, 95%, you'll fucking grow even stronger. But most people aren't like that. They just want an easy life, and they just fucking want to sit back and get fat and eat and fucking, you know.
I wish I could do that, but
I just don't want to do anything.
I gotta get on my fucking bike and sweat every single day. I hate it.
We got friends that'll
but I still gotta do it.
I've hooked friends up. I said, look, take this and this and this. You'll be fine, but you have to do this and that. They won't work out. So none of that means anything. Oh, it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work because you sit around and eat fucking donuts.
Well, everybody wants...
They want something for nothing.
For nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I would love it.
Yeah.
Look,
if you could press a button and fucking
honestly, if you could pop my brain into like a robot avatar, and I could just like eat and enjoy whatever food I wanted and didn't get fat,
that's what they would do.
I would totally do that.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Right.
But the fact is, I wish I could do that. I wish I could just like sit around and like eat donuts and stuff, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. So I don't.
So a lot of people, most people will say they want to look a certain way, but they'll never do what it takes. Some of them will fucking buy the shit. They'll buy steroids or something and hormones, and then they'll shoot them up. They don't do anything, and nothing happens. And they go, well, that didn't work. That's awful. It's because you didn't do anything. Okay. That's why a lot of dudes will fucking take steroids and fucking do those hormones. They won't tell anybody that they're doing it because other people will go, well, you just look like that because you're on steroids. No. Fucking, it's everything. You know what I mean? You're diminishing the work. Fucking, to look that way, you have to eat a certain way. You have to fucking lift a lot of weights and work out, and you have to take all that stuff. You just can't sit around and take steroids and get big. No, nothing.
I'm just saying that every individual has to come to like a thing, and it's taken me almost 50 years to come to this place. Like, what do you want out of life?
Yeah.
Like, what do you enjoy? And you have to like maximize what you enjoy,
right,
and minimize what you don't enjoy, as much as you can. Like, I understand that everybody, obviously, like I said, everybody got to make money. So you can't like minimize. It's like, oh, I don't want to go to work anymore. Yeah, that's not going to work out if you got like fucking bills to pay. I get it, because I fucking hate working too. But, you know, you have to just like kind of come to a balance that you can like fucking live with. And that's all you have to do. I love this. Mary Connolly says, when I'm down, I read like The Night by Eli Wiesel or watch Schindler's List, and damn, my life is great in comparison. Honestly, I kind of feel like this is something that people don't understand a lot about goths and stuff like that. Watching miserable shit or listening to like miserable sounding music, or what people would categorize as miserable sounding music, that's not miserable to us, because you are listening to or watching somebody that is perhaps worse off than you are. And so that's making you feel better by comparison, which is like, well, at least my life isn't as bad as this person's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's kind of the appeal of horror movies too. You're kind of like, well, my life kind of sucks, but then you watch the horror movies like, well, it could be a lot worse though. Look at that shit. So there's that too. That's why it's kind of like a happy fucking. It's happy.
Man, you hear
what?
that?
Yeah.
Storm.
Yeah, I know.
Storm coming.
Storm coming.
Storm coming.
Get with it, Tom. It's Friday.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm
holding on.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it.
Camp Guy said exactly what my guitar teacher told me. I was happy that I practiced 25 to 30 minutes a day that week. He said, you wouldn't believe how good you would get if you played an hour or more every day. Well, like I said, it's all like a balance. Like, you have to kind of like ask yourself, what do you want out of life? What would make you happy? And what can you do every day to maximize that which would make you happy? You have to do that and like minimize that which would like make you depressed to whatever degree you can do that. Because like I said, we can't all do that obviously because we all have to make money to live and shit like that. So you just have to do that. Is this what you want to do? Then you have to put the work in. And you have to put the work in like every day to do it. And the money. Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm real into doing like creative shit. So it's like, I kind of like, I want to write this book. I want to like, make this website. I want to like make this game or whatever. And it's like, how much time are you willing to put into that? Will it make you money? Not necessarily, but it's like, will it make me happy? Yeah. I kind of like judge it as, what do I look forward to doing when I'm done with all the shit that I don't really want to do, like to make money? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of that. Because I always kind of like, I get up and I'm just like, okay, well, I have to do this, that, and the other thing to make X amount of dollars. And then after that's done, what am I looking forward to doing? Yeah. Whatever you're looking forward to doing, that's what you want to do. Me, like I said, that's usually writing books, designing games, doing horror kind of shit. So that's what I want to do. Does it make money? Not necessarily, but that's what makes me happy though. So I do try to like put that into my day. So I'm not constantly, although I kind of feel like I'm still constantly like fucking, I don't know. I feel like I'm still constantly like always doing like other people's shit.
Yeah. See this chick here? They got women that want to look like that. That's Patricia Alamo. Okay? She's a short little muscle girl. All right? The thing is, oh yeah, I'd like to look like that. But if you saw that girl probably spent $200 a fucking month just on fucking hormones and fucking steroids and shit like that. And training. Most people go, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. They won't even put up to $200 a month. Okay.
Well, like I said, it depends.
Right. And
I mean, do you want to look like that more than you want anything else?
Right. That's what this girl does. That's what she does. And then she goes to the gym probably fucking total of about 4 hours a week, which is probably 2-hour sessions. And for somebody like me, that's nothing. But for other people, that's like,
well, other people that have,
like,
because other people have other obligations. Like, they have jobs and kids and families and shit like that. And that seems like a big ask, which I get. Well, no, I get that.
Yeah. I mean,
it is a big ask.
We do that at the club.
Right, but like our life is not like, we don't have any kids.
Right.
We don't have like any other obligations really. Right. Like, you're retired and I'm freelance. So to a large degree, we're kind of like our own people. Right. We can kind of like do what we want when we want. Like I said, not sometimes, because I still have work I gotta do. But you know what I mean. But if that's your honestly, and the thing about it is, Instagram models like that, that's kind of like their source of income too. But so it behooves them to maintain that level, so they actually kind of get paid to do that. It's a little bit of a privilege in a way.
Well, no, she doesn't make money from that, I don't think. But that's the before and after. Okay? And she hasn't been like that forever. She does probably make money now.
I mean, yeah, but I was gonna say, you think that she doesn't make money from that, then
she probably makes money now.
I don't know where you've been.
But she wasn't making money on that when she started. You know, I don't even think she's a trainer. Most likely, she's got a rich boyfriend. That's probably what it is now.
I mean, you can make quite a bit of money doing that, like just being a social media influencer, but I will say that there is a lot of work involved in that. Yeah. Not only just like being, if you're a fitness model, you have to obviously like maintain your fitness and stuff, but you also have to maintain your social media presence in the sense that, oh, you have to live stream, oh, you have to like have your best photos, oh, you have to like fucking keep up with all the shit. It's just kind of like, it's a job. In and of itself. It's a lot of work. And like I said, I didn't really realize this until I started doing like this show and like the blog that has to do with the Instagram account and shit like that, and thinking about doing other stuff that's related to it. You really have to hit the shit hard all the time or you're not going to make any money on it. Yeah. So it's just kind of like, if you want to make some money on one thing that you're doing, like I'm a fitness model, you have to hit that fucking 24/7. Yeah. You have to hit it all the fucking time. But so
I love it because it's the end of IFBB Pro bodybuilding. That's all fucking like a thing of the past. Muscle Beach and all that's a thing of the past. They just go to the gym and take pictures of themselves and do stuff, and they can make money on their own. They don't have to worry about judges. It's just if the crowd likes them, then they get success. And it's a lot better. If you went back and look at the female bodybuilders that IFBB Pro judges were selecting, they didn't look good. Yeah, they were extreme, but they didn't look good. Let the people decide, not those judges. And you can just be freelance. You know, I think it's great. It's the future.
Holy Parish of Doom says, expressing emotions that are largely inadmissible or inappropriate on other contexts. Yeah, I get that. It's just, I don't know. It's just, it's funny because, okay, so Mike Cernicki says, I'm in California and moving to Orlando. Just got a job lined up at the Publix. Can I crash at you guys' place for $800 a month?
We don't know your stinky ass. Show up here with them stinky ass feet.
You might not be stinky.
Might have them stinky ass feet.
Tom's stinky.
Yeah, but that's my house. I'll stink up my own house, farting and shit.
It's not farting. Do you know what you smell like? Since the hormones, you smell like old. You know, okay. You know when you were a kid and you put like Elmer's glue? Yeah. No, it's very specific. You put like Elmer's glue on your hand, and then you waited for it to dry, and then you peeled it off. Yeah. And then like you kind of rolled it up, and then it got kind of gross and dirty.
Like chemicals and shit.
You kind of smell like the old, dirty, rolled up Elmer's glue.
Elmer's glue.
Yeah. It occurred to me like last night because you like rolled over, and I was awake. Like I woke up at like 4:30 because I had to pee, and then I came back to sleep. So he's like rolling around, and I was just kind of like, and I smelled it, and I was just kind of like, man, that smells just like when some weirdo would like roll their glue up in their hand and like it got dirty and stuff, and it smells like dirty old glue. That's what you smell like.
Tammy, it's not 2 hours a day. It's more like two 2-hour sessions a week. So it's like 2 hours.
Yeah, he doesn't work out.
And then 3 hours. No, you don't work out that much. Most of it is sitting around eating and growing. Most of it.
I mean, that's his story. He just lays around like...
Yeah, it's like being a lion. You fucking work out, you get fucking real fucked up feeling, and then you just eat something and lay around and just go, and try to grow back. Although, look.
That's what Tom does all the time. He's always doing that.
I like that. It's much harder. It's much harder when you're natural and you're not on any fucking steroids. If you're on hormones and steroids, it's so much easier. You heal up so much faster. And you don't need like a big dose. It's small doses. You just heal up a lot faster. So you're not sitting around fucking miserable going, Jenny remembers it. I'd be like in my sleep rolling over going, Oh.
You still do that. What are you talking about?
It's not as bad as it was, though.
No, now you roll around going like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Now you do that.
I don't know. The devil's talking to me. Devil's
like, I don't know who you're talking to.
No, the devil's talking to me.
You try to kill me, I'm going to I'm going to end you.
Fucking kill you.
Yeah. That's what he does. This is why I'm awake all night.
I'll kill you.
He keeps like rolling. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. No, the devil's telling me that.
You did that last night.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the devil.
I'm going to say it's not as bad as it used to be because when me and him first started going out.
Man, it was the devil. The fucking monkeys were trying to fucking eat me all the time.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
When I would stay, because I had my own apartment at that time. So I wasn't over there every night.
Yeah.
But when I stayed over at his place, you had some issues.
Yeah.
Like, you could not sleep without having some, like, really, really bad nightmares.
Yeah.
And then you'd be, like, thrashing around, and you'd be, like, fucking thinking somebody was killing you, and, like, all this other kind of shit. Yeah. And obviously it would wake me up.
Yeah.
And you were just kind of like...
Piles of monkeys.
Monkeys!
Yeah. I was getting attacked by seas of capuchin monkeys with just teeth and shit. And just screaming at me.
I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be, but you still talk in your sleep.
Yeah.
And it's a little creepy.
Yeah.
You still listen to your tablet with your headphones in, which, like, has the light. So there's, like, a blue light on the other side of the thing. So I have to, like, put the thing over my eyes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't keep me awake.
Mary says, steroids are not good. No, steroids are real good. That's just what they told you. Steroids are real good. It's one of the best fucking I've done a lot of drugs. Steroids and fucking hormones are the best fucking drugs I've ever done. If you want to call them drugs, they're not really drugs. They're hormone mimickers. They're high performance fucking hormone mimickers. They're some of the best ones. Yeah, pretty good. You just have to know how to take them. A lot of guys got killed though back in the 70s and 80s because they got so fucking huge. The human heart is only about the size of a fist. You start putting on fucking 100 pounds, 150 pounds of muscle over your genetic potential, your heart can't supply that.
Well, your heart doesn't know that, like, is that 200 pounds of muscle or 200 pounds of fat? Or are you just like this big fucking fat person?
200 pounds of fat is easier to supply than 200 pounds
That's what
of
I'm
muscle.
saying.
It's twice.
But it's like, even then,
twice.
The heart is like, not having it.
Yeah, 200 pounds of muscle
that's worse.
200 pounds of muscle is worse. Or it's about on par of 400 pounds of fat. It's like that. Because there's all those vessels in there to supply it. So it fucks up all your heart valves. Your heart was not designed to fucking supply the blood to a body that size. And guys were taking that shit and they were getting fucking gigantic. And they were growing big, not only super big, but fast. So, no metabolism was designed to grow. No metabolism was designed so a person could grow that quickly in that size. It's just not possible. So, but, there were other guys. So, that story got out there. These gigantic fucking pro bodybuilders, they're 200 pounds overweight in muscle, 100-something pounds overweight in muscle. And they fucking got that size in a short period of time. Yeah, those fucking dudes are really pushing the limits of what's fucking possible. And those were the guys that were genetically predispositioned to handle those drugs. The guys that weren't predispositioned died before they even got that big, or got hurt before they got that big. So people thought that, well, that's what steroids do. No, that's not what steroids do. Steroids are healing agents. Doctors prescribe them to people who get hurt, and allows you to heal up a lot faster. As long as you're not getting fucking supernaturally huge, you can do them. You just can't get too much overweight. You have to be reasonable with that shit. You can't be like Big Ramey. That motherfucker was an IFBB pro. He was fucking huge, and he's had a shit ton of health problems. The human body was not supposed to be that big. The heart isn't equipped to pump that much fucking blood. So no, it's not the steroids. It's steroids abuse. Fucking extreme abuse. Hell yeah, it'll kill you. But, you know, you look at other guys, you know, that did it normally, you know, and fucking, what's his name? Jack LaLanne was fucking strong way up into his 80s and 90s because of that. They got guys in their 70s, they look like they're 30. And that's fucking right, it's steroids. But they're using steroids to fight aging. And they're about my size. You don't want to get much bigger than I am right now. For my height. I could probably put on another 10, 15 pounds and be safe. About it. And lose another 10 pounds of fucking fat and be safe. I couldn't lose another 10 pounds of fat and be safe, though. I'd be fucking sub 5% body fat. It's too risky. You just have to know what it is. You have to understand the limits of human physiology.
Well, that's what I mean. I kind of feel like the problem arises when people are trying to be...
extreme.
Yeah.
Right.
When you get to the extremes...
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not going to work out the way you think it is. Tammy says, there's no way I could have spared $200 and 2 hours a day when I have my kids at home and work 2 jobs. That's what I'm saying. $200 a month, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, if you have 2 kids at home, that is, like, a full-time job in itself. So... I get it. I get why people can't do that shit. Like I said, I'm not judging anybody. I don't know anybody else's life. It's not my job to, like, judge other people's fucking lives, for Christ's sake. Nobody should. They do, but they shouldn't.
Let me show you bitches something. That dude right there is 73 years old. Okay? He's 73. And based on his BMI index and his fucking blood chemistry, he'll probably live into his 90s.
Unless he gets hit by a bus.
Unless he gets hit by a bus. That is not natural, okay? It's anabolic steroids and HRT, hormone replacement therapy. All right? 73.
Like I said, it can be done, but is that, like, the only thing you want to do? If that's the only thing you want to do with your life.
Well, that's only a few hours a day. 4 hours a day.
Tila says, Christy Brinkley and Nicole Murphy, Eddie's ex, both look great, my kind of bodies, but both have had surgeries and face fillers that look natural and well done.
Yeah. Anything that is not extreme, it works. You just
I kind of feel like, look, if you're in Hollywood... and your whole, paycheck depends on you looking a certain way, I kind of feel like it would behoove you to more, like, go into, like, getting little surgeries when you're younger and then, like, just getting little... Because if you wait till you're old and then get, like, a really extreme surgery, it doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as good. But I kind of feel like they figured that out, though, in Hollywood. Because you do kind of see people getting little nips and tucks here and there.
Over time.
So it doesn't, like...
You don't really notice
So it's not really, like, obvious.
Yeah, a bad example would have been Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds is a bad example. Well, like I said,
Burt Reynolds, because it seemed like he let himself get kind of... Well, they did that back then.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of feel like that wasn't a thing where it's like, oh, we're going to get little nips and tucks here and there when we're young. He waited till he got, like, kind of older.
Yeah,
he wasn't getting roles, and then he did it all at once, and then it looked like his whole face skin had been, like, pulled back and stapled on the back of his head, which is not a good look for anybody. No. Love you, Burt. I'm just saying. Although
a couple years after he did that, he looked a little bit better. It's just that fucking...
It did look really weird
at first. That shit looked fucked up. And it's because fucking... how you're supposed to do it is they start to get little things in their fucking 30s before they need it. And they start to lay the foundation for it when they go into their 40s and 50s. It's little things here and there.
Yeah, just like, let's just like pull your chin up and let's like make your little fucking, make your cheekbones higher and like, let's raise your eyebrows and shit like that. Like little things that no one would notice.
Right.
And if you do that the whole time, I mean, if you can afford it, obviously most of us plebes can't. But if you can afford it, I kind of feel like that's the way to go.
Yeah.
You wait till you already look old as shit.
Yeah.
And then you get surgery.
Yeah.
That's not
Cam
gonna work
guy
out.
said that some dude was doing blood dope and saving his own red blood cell. Look, don't believe anything these motherfuckers tell you. 90% of the fitness industry and about 100% of what Hollywood tells you is fucking lies. That's not what they're doing. If you're doing any anabolic steroids, you make a lot of fucking red blood cells. When my blood tests came back from my HRT clinics, they came back all in superhuman range when it came for fucking red blood cell counts. They were like, you might want to give some blood. You got a little too much red blood cell. I mean, I could probably just go for a run and run myself to death. Because, you know, I was above... My red blood cell count was above fucking what an Olympic athlete would have. It would have come back where, like, nah, they'd have kicked me out of the Olympics or pro sports saying, nah, you're jacked. You got... No human has blood looks like that. So a lot of times... These people will make up these weird, well, I'm fucking saving my blood for later. No, they're doing steroids. There's all kinds of steroids that do different things. Like Winstrol and Anavar. Weird shit like injectable Dianabol. And then there's HRT, which is fucking just testosterone, which testosterone is fucking great. One of the best ones. And then there's HGH, HGH is going kind of out. But then there's HCG, which is human colon. I forgot what it's called, but it was something that they used to give me. And it's it's a pituitary gland stimulant. It keeps all your glands running. Taking that, I lost all heartburn. I'd be able to digest everything like I was a kid again. I had terrible heartburn, still I went on HCG. After that, I could eat spicy food or whatever and never have any acid reflux or heartburn. And it's because all your damn digestive enzymes are all now flowing. There's nothing really wrong with your body as it ages. It's just that the hormonal signaling isn't as good. So you want to fucking start putting things in your body that cause the hormones to fucking flow and allow fucking biological processes to happen normally. It's just like teeth. If your teeth fall out, you can't chew. So you put false teeth in so you can chew. It's the same thing with hormones. Your hormones aren't being produced. So you put artificial hormones in there and all of a sudden everything works again. That's all it is. It's not magic. It's science.
Sorry, I love this. John Smith says, my grandfather is still alive at the age of 106.
Yeah.
At 92, he remarried.
Yeah.
And at his wedding, he spoke of his new bride and upcoming nuptials. Don't worry, she won't die a virgin.
That's funny. She won't die a virgin. All right.
Tyler, the guy, says, your grandpa is a damn legend.
Yeah. How old was his wife?
That's fucking amazing. Yeah, I don't know. He didn't say. 92. That's something. That's something. I kind of think about that. It's like, it's weird because... Like I said, I'm 49, which seems old, but then I think about, holy crap, I could live like another 30, 40, 50 years, and then I get tired. Is that bad?
No, I'm not saying, no, it's wrong.
I'm just kind of like, really, I could live another 50 years? That just makes me tired. It makes me want to take a nap thinking about that. Holy crap. I guess that means I'm old. I don't know.
Yeah. New bride was in her 60s. Well, she was a young woman compared to him, though.
I like it. I like it. I like it. She won't die a virgin.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad. Your grandpa's 106.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I kind of want to live that long, but I kind of don't. I don't know. It's a weird thing. It depends on what happens between now and then.
Right, yeah.
You know? Because... I don't know. I kind of feel like a lot of my life I was like not... I don't know. I don't want to say like my whole youth was like squandered, but I do kind of feel like I didn't really... Like I had a childhood, I had a youth and stuff like that, but I kind of feel like I didn't really like get my shit together until I was like in my late 30s.
Everybody feels that way though.
So...
Everybody feels that way.
So I kind of feel like, holy shit, I'm already almost 50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I really have to like do some shit now.
No.
It's kind of like, you know.
Well, there's not a lot to do.
Well, I can still do stuff. I know how you feel. You just want to like fucking lay around and do nothing. But it's like I want to do some stuff.
That's how she sees me.
I want to do some stuff.
No, I mean just like.
Well, that's what you said. You don't care about anything.
Okay. I'm not going to get into it. Just that we've accomplished a lot already. You know, we've accomplished a lot already.
Not enough.
Okay.
Well, there's still shit I want to do.
We'll go do it. I'm not holding you back.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
I'm not holding you back.
But like I said, I'm working on it.
Yeah. What time is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
8. Almost 8.
Okay.
Do we have any food in this house?
I have to go make some. Yeah, I got all kinds of food down there.
Are you sober enough to make some, or do I have to order a pizza?
Ain't that something? Listen to her.
No, I'm just like, for practical reasons, I'm just asking.
Last time we ordered a pizza, motherfuckers never showed up. And then
I didn't order a pizza. Yeah. I ordered a sandwich.
Yeah, but it was from Domino's.
Okay, let's tell that story.
Yeah.
So I was like, you were not home.
I came back and found that bitch out there.
And I was just kind of like, well, I might have told the story before, but I was just kind of like, okay, well, I'm just going to order some Domino's because I don't feel like cooking and fuck that. So I ordered, it wasn't a pizza. I ordered a sandwich and I think that was it. Like a sandwich and maybe a salad. And I ordered it and it was like, was it DoorDash or it wasn't DoorDash. I think it was Grubhub. So I ordered it from them. And Domino's, they sent me a message to like, well, we don't really have like delivery people to do this shit, so it might take a little bit longer. And I was just kind of like, okay, well, take the time you need, whatever. So it's just like, just bring me my fucking food. Just do it. So then like an hour or two later, I'm just kind of like, is this food coming or what? And then like I got back with them and they were just like, yeah, we don't know what happened with that. And I was like, look, I think that the food is not coming. So what did we end up doing? I think we went to
canceled it out.
I canceled it, and then we went to the Chinese restaurant. Or we were going to go out. And then we went outside to go to the Chinese restaurant.
And I found the shit.
And we found the Domino's food on the doorstep.
Covered in ants.
And it was covered in ants.
Yeah.
They just left it there.
Just left it.
I don't know how long it had been there. Yeah. It was a sandwich.
Yeah.
It was like a sub and like a salad.
Yeah.
The salad was okay because it was like sealed.
Yeah.
But the sandwich was not edible because it had a bunch of ants in it. But it's like they didn't call me, they didn't text me, they didn't do anything say, hey, your food's like on your doorstep. They didn't do anything.
All right, we'll see you, T. Bye. T's leaving.
So it was that.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, so from then, I've been, like, really reluctant. Like, even though Domino's is, like, right there. It's, like, a mile away. Like, not even a mile away.
I'd rather order from the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, but you got to go get it.
I'll go get it.
They don't have a... I'll go
get it. If you order it, I'll go get it. I'll go get it and I'll pay for it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead and shut it down. Then go ahead and get ready. I'll go get ready.
We're gonna order Chinese food, I guess. Well, like I said... I'm not casting aspersions on Domino's as a whole. I'm just saying the Domino's that is like a mile away from us, I was not happy about that situation. Like I will, like, they sent me coupons and stuff afterward, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to order from you now. You're just gonna like leave the shit on my doorstep and like not tell me that it's there. I thought that you weren't bringing it, and then I went out to get other food, and then I found it, and that it like there were ants in it. So I don't know how long it had been there, but yeah, good job. So there was that whole situation. All right. What are we talking about now? Okay, so Tom has fucked off, and so I guess we're gonna get some Chinese food. How long have we been on? 3 hours. Okay, that's fair enough. All right, so have a good Friday night, you guys. We will be back Sunday afternoon. We'll be talking about that Burt Reynolds movie that I mentioned earlier, Malone. Maybe some underage action going on. Maybe. Not underage, but kind of creepy. Just saying. So there's that kind of going on. So we're going to talk about that on Sunday. But thanks everybody for dropping by. Thank you for super chats. And we will see you guys on Sunday afternoon. Good night, you guys.